The sellout crowd is pumped and ready, and so are we. This is the Eastern Final, the long-awaited meeting between the Hamilton Ticats and the Montreal Alouettes. The fans have been pouring in here for the past 2 hours. They are ready, emotionally charged. Weather-wise, we could not ask for a better day. There's just a little bit of a breeze, but that will not affect the teams. Temperature 10 degrees Celsius. Can you believe that in Montreal on November 21st? Now, let's go upstairs to Mark Lee and Glenn Suter. Gentlemen, take it away.
Thanks a lot, Steve. Ron Lancaster coaching in a division final for the 8th time in 9 years since returning to the coaching ranks in 1991. He's well aware of what to expect in this football game today. And Glenn, he says the first quarter will dictate the terms today.
Well, a lot of coaches will say home field advantage gives you a 7-point lead to start with. So Charlie Taft has that 7 points, and he's done something that Dave Ritchie couldn't do with his football team, and that's get the home field advantage in the in the final.
And Danny McManus, he threw 6 interceptions in the second week of the season against the Alouettes, but he's also set a league record with 90.5% completion average against Winnipeg and led the league in passing this year. He is a cool customer at playoff time, and so is this man. Tracy Ham played only 9 games this year, Glenn, but he's been in 11 of 12 division finals.
You saw that 3 interceptions from Ham. That's why he's playing today.
The Alouettes will kick it off, and it's Archie Amerson at his own 13 with lots of real estate to the 30, outside across the 40, and finally dropped down at the 45-yard line. William Loftus making the tackle after a 32-yard return to open this football game by Archie Amerson.
Well, Danny McManus will lead a talented group offensively onto the field, and it's going to be the key is Ron Williams running the football on first down, Archie Amerson creating mismatches in the passing game, and of course in clutch time he goes to Darren Flutie.
That big offensive line anchored by Carl the Cooler Coulter, they've been together all season long. First down, Tiger Cats at their own 45-yard line. Williams will take the pitch out right, looking for a hole, cuts back, lots of room, first down and more. Williams now into the Montreal secondary. A huge opening run by Ronald Williams.
This is exactly what Danny McManus wanted to do to start, to set the tone offensively, because it does 2 things for your offense. Number 1, you get the good yardage on first down with the running game. Number 2, it allows your offensive line to tee off to start the game on the defensive line. It creates a physical presence early.
Ticats are 9-1. Williams goes over 100 yards in a game, 2-6 when he doesn't. Here he is again. The big back Williams finally hit by Lester Smith, the safety, filling on the play. The gain will be about 5, and there's the defensive line with a couple of rookies in the interior, Richards and Filion, but they're very quick. The linebackers are solid, with Rashad Giddings at middle linebacker, Gravely and Reed on the outside, and the Ballhawks leading the league with 27 interceptions this season. Second down and about 4, Tiger Cats on their first drive. Pitch out left, this time to Williams. They sniff it out, and he's gang tackled for a loss. Swift Birch, the first to get his hands on Ronald Williams.
This is the type of defense that the Montreal Alouettes have played all season long. They bend, they give a little bit, and then they shut the door when you get in scoring range. So Paul Osbaldiston will have to come out and attempt a long field goal after a loss by Williams.
Swift Birch, who went out at midseason with a knee injury, has come back fit and healthy at the outside defensive end position for Montreal.
Had 5 sacks in 13 games. When you're playing opposite of Alfred Payton, you don't get a lot of press.
Osbaldiston will attempt a 47-yard field goal. He'll have a slight wind at his back. His longest this year is 55.
First mistake by the Hamilton Tiger Cats. They had too many men on the field.
And so there's a costly error for the Cats.
Emotions run high in a game like this, and it's important for both teams to keep focused on the job at hand and not let the emotions take advantage of them, because if you're not concentrating, you miss an assignment, not on the field or on the field when you shouldn't be, it can cost your team.
Looked like Darren Flutie tried to call a timeout. Let's hear from Dave Ewell.
Time count violation. Hamilton, number 3.
Here's what Paul Osbaldiston did. He saw that they had the wrong people on the field to kick the field goal. He stopped everybody. He didn't ask for the snap. He waited till Carl Coulter went off the field, but when Coulter ran off the field, it was already too late and it would have been a penalty. So Paul Osbaldiston waited. He took the time count instead, but it'll force him into a punting situation.
3rd and 13, and now Osbaldiston is back across center field, standing at his own 51. So a field goal taken away by that time count violation.
It's an interesting decision to punt because it's a long field goal, but it's in his range.
Osbaldiston spiraling this one out of bounds in front of Winston October. It'll go out at the Montreal 14. So a clever kick by Osbaldiston to give Montreal a long field to start their first offensive series. Tracy Ham comes on the field, leading an offense with his experience. Charlie Taft saying when they look into his eyes in the huddle, they'll see a man with leadership and calm, especially in a tense game like this. And Jock Climie, 10 years in the CFL, leading this receiving corps, still looking for his first Grey Cup.
And it's an offensive line that have played together for 4 years, and that's why they are so dominating. They're heavy. They average over 308 pounds across the board, but they played together.
Here's Ham. He hasn't played in 3 weeks. Back to pass. Pitch pass is complete to Tyree Davis. And so Charlie Taft gets Tyree Davis in the game early. Remember, he suffered a concussion when he was walked by Rob Hitchcock the last time these teams played.
This Hamilton defense, the pressure is on the front four. When you're playing against Mike Pringle, you have to stop the run. It'll be up to them and the guy in the middle, Calvin Tiggle, 106 tackles on the season. And we've talked about Rob Hitchcock and the physical presence he can bring.
Game's about 9, Glenn. It'll be Pringle looking for the first down. The Cats say they've stopped him. This will be very close. Hamilton has held Mike Pringle to an average of 4 yards per carry in 4 games this season. One of the toughest teams on the ground defensively against Pringle.
Well, this will be the great matchup. It really is strength against strength when you think of Mike Pringle running against Calvin Tiggle. This is what the Hamilton defense will want to do up front. They want to take the pressure off Tiggle so that no one of those offensive line can block Tiggle. That will leave him free to go one-on-one with Mike Pringle, and you can see how close it is. I believe they're going to say it's about an inch. And even though it's just an inch, Mark, it's a tough decision for Charlie Taft in his own end of the field to gamble at this point in the game, because when you have to take that exchange from center, anything can happen.
Taft, in his rookie season as a head coach in the CFL, will gamble. 3rd down and inches. Ball on the Montreal 24-yard line. As Calvin Tiggle looks deep into the backfield of the Alouettes. Ham up behind his center. And he'll have it. So a gutsy call, a gamble deep in your own end.
Well, it's only an inch, but it is a gutsy call, because if you have a little bit of a fumble, exchange from center, something doesn't go quite smoothly enough, when you take off, you don't get the snap count right on, it can cost you, and that would give the Hamilton Ticats the ball right there. So it is a bit of a gamble, but it paid off for Taft.
9th straight sellout crowd here at Molson Stadium for this Eastern Division final. Ham straight back to pass, lots of time. Flares it over the backfield to his outlet receiver, Michael Soles. He has a first down across the 50-yard line for Montreal.
Talk about a guy who would love to have a great game here this afternoon is Michael Soles. A lot of guys right now in the league are contemplating retirement. You think across the board with pinball and guys like that. Michael Soles has decided this is his last year.
26-yard gain on this play, Glenn.
And it's the 4th read for Tracy Ham.
Souls has been talking retirement 3 years in a row. Dearly loved to end his career with one in his hometown. The handoff to Mike Pringle. Lots of speed left side, but there are flags down. Pringle gets around the corner. Finally driven out of bounds by Rob Hitchcock. Close to the 45-yard line.
Got an opportunity to go to the Montreal practice on Friday. I watched the whole practice and spent the after practice time in the locker room with the team, and I couldn't get over how businesslike they were approaching this game.
Hamilton, number 45. First down.
Lamar McGriggs called on the offside, and so the play will stand for Montreal. And another first down at the Hamilton 47-yard line. Lancaster, as we mentioned off the top, thinks the first quarter will dictate the outcome here. Nobody wants to play catch-up in a game of this magnitude. Here's Ham, back to pass, across the middle, right in the arms of Alfonso Browning, and he dropped it. The rookie out of Kentucky. Maybe some nerves in his first pass of the game.
Exactly what it is. It's nerves. He looked up the field before he had secured the football into his stomach. The ball was right on the money from Tracy Ham, but that's a little bit of nerves. You know the guys will be nervous until they get out there and get that first hit. Knowing Tracy Ham, he'll go right back to Alfonso Browning.
Ham saying that he has faith in all 4 of his receivers. He calls them his blue-collar receiving corps in a second and long, second and 10 situation. Ham stays in the pocket across the middle. Bobble nearly picked off and incomplete. He goes back to Browning again in traffic.
Yeah, that's exactly what he'll want to do. Now, that was Alfonso Browning getting hit by Gerald Vaughn, knocked that football out of there. But you know Ham will go right back to Browning, so he won't lose confidence.
Well, Gerald Vaughn blocked a couple of punts last week in the semifinal against Toronto. Led the CFL in interceptions with 9 this year. Number 1 on his own team with 10 knockdowns.
Yeah, he was just all over the football all season long, and you can see the contact coming from Rob Hitchcock and Gerald Vaughn on Alfonso Browning, but Ham will stick with him.
Terry Baker to punt. A high spiraling kick into the Hamilton end zone over the head of Amerson. He'll let it bounce, and he'll concede a single point. And so the Alouettes are on the board on a 62-yard punt single by Terry Baker. Tracy Ham playing for the first time since the end of October, but he's looked sharp.
Here were the first 5 plays of the game for Tracy Ham, and surprisingly, Ham decided to throw the ball on first down. He did have balance. He gave the ball to Pringle. That was the third down gamble, but Tracy Ham has thrown the ball on first down, trying to do something they hadn't done really all season.
So Ham, who has all kinds of experience in playoff football, leading the way for Montreal this afternoon. Danny McManus, the CFL's leading passer, with his second series of the game. Back to pass. Intended for Andrew Grigg. He's got it for a Hamilton first down. The Montreal defense will give you some room underneath, but they dare you to beat them deep.
Primarily, they play zone defense, which means every player in the coverage will drop to spots on the field. They will not allow Danny McManus to throw the ball deep. That's what they want to take away. They want to make McManus throw it underneath to Andrew Grigg, throw it underneath to Archie Amerson and their receivers, and then come up and make the tackle. That's their strategy.
First down, Tiger Cats. Here to 49. Pitch out to Ronald Williams. Cuts it upside. Lots of traffic and nowhere to go.
So, you know, Danny McManus knows that as well when he's facing the Montreal defense. So what he has to do, and the key for him today, is to be patient. Make sure he takes what the Montreal defense gives him and not try and force the ball down the field when it's not there. And Danny McManus, who always plays great when the game is more important, most important, knows that better than anybody.
Ronald Williams pounded the ball 127 yards last week against the Toronto Argonauts in the semifinal. Ed Fillion, the rookie defensive tackle, with some pressure now. McManus going deep to Tony Akins. There's contact, but no flag. Dwight Henry was right there, draped all over the rookie Aikens.
Well, that's a good matchup. Rookie on rookie. Dwight Henry had a great season, as did Tony Aikens. When you think back to that game in Week 10 versus Winnipeg, when Aikens had 257 yards. A little bit of contact going both ways, and I love that there's no call on the play. Let the guys play, especially in a game of this magnitude.
So Danny McManus, who has not shown a tendency to go deep, tries to stretch the Montreal defense.
Well, you know what he saw, Mark, for the first time in a long time watching film against Montreal? He saw man-to-man defense, and when you get man-to-man, you can go deep.
There's Winston October, the lone man back for the Alouettes at his own 16-yard line. Osbaldiston, the punt, and again he angles it out of bounds. Great. And another beauty by Osbaldiston out at the Montreal 11-yard line. And so the Alouettes, after that 47-yard kick from Osbaldiston, will have a long field ahead of them when they come back. Welcome back to the Eastern Final at Molson Stadium in Montreal, where the fans come for the atmosphere as much as the football. And Tracy Ham starting this second series on offense for Montreal on his own 11. Anthony Calvillo waiting in the wing should Ham falter. The top-rated quarterback in the CFL this year with a 108.4 efficiency rating. Here's Ham. Again, back to the hitch pass. It's complete to Ben Cahoon, the leading receiver, and he's rocked and fumbled the ball. The Cats bench is all over the sideline saying they have it. Campbell has it in his hand. It'll be second down, it looks like Montreal.
It was awful close. They're saying, I believe, that he was down. Ben Cahoon was down near the sideline before that ball came out. Here it comes, the hitch pass to the outside, and Ben Cahoon wisely takes it to the outside, and then when does the fumble occur? He lost possession. Now, is the ball out of bounds when it's touched by the Alouette? It's just the last person to touch the ball before it goes out of bounds, and I believe Pierre Bercheville touched it before it went out.
2nd and 9. Ham back to pass. Looking. Now he fires across the middle, and it's complete to Ben Cahoon. This time he locks it up for a first down.
Talk about composure from Tracy Ham, and this is why he is starting in this big game, because Tracy Ham has tons of experience. He doesn't have to rush it because he has lots of time, then steps up in the pocket, and his athlete, Ben Cahoon, makes a play for him.
18-yard pickup for Ben Cahoon. The receiver, Ham believes, has the best hands on the team despite his bobble on that last play. First down, Alouettes as they dig out of their own end. Hand off to Pringle. Strung out and out of bounds. Pringle has averaged 100 yards in the 16 games he's played this year to lead the CFL in rushing.
Well, that tells the story right there. In the 6 wins, 163-yard average for Pringle, and in the losses, it drops to 62. No question about it. You give the ball to Mike Pringle, he gets over 100 yards, you win the football game.
And the Tiger Cats have been rock solid against the run this year, especially against Mike Pringle. A 4-yard per carry gain for him. Another hitch pass to Thomas Haskins. Haskins very close to a first down. Mike Campbell, the defensive tackle, brings him down shy of the 40-yard line.
Boy, are they happy to have Thomas Haskins in the lineup. The Montreal coaching staff feel that he is a game breaker. Thomas Haskins will line up today at the receiver position for the most part, but they also have the depth at tailback with Thomas Haskins in the lineup, because if Mike Pringle goes down, Haskins will play tailback. And against Hamilton in game 2, he had 137 yards against the Ticats and a touchdown.
And right here, back in September in that 52-19 Montreal blowout, he hauled in 2 passes of more than 50 yards. Baker will punt. It's 3rd and 1 Montreal as Hamilton stops the Alouettes on this second drive. Amerson runs up and just gets underneath a diving, dropping punt, 31 yards from Terry Baker, and so solid field position for the Hamilton offense. 2 high-powered teams and only 1 point to show for it early in the first half. Welcome back to the East Final in Montreal. The Alouettes leading the Tiger Cats just 1-0. They've got to get the ball to Archie Amerson. Hamilton does. He had 156 yards against the Alouettes in Week 10.
Yeah, and in Week 2, he's ripped a running play off for 70 yards against the Montreal Alouettes. I think he'll be the key today, and they'll move him around.
McManus pumps, goes deep. Corey Grant, the rookie, battling with another rookie. Dwight Henry comes up the winner again. Ball was soft.
Danny McManus again trying to go out there and test the rookie, Dwight Henry. That's the second time he's gone deep on Henry. Both times Henry has been there to knock the ball around. Very close that time that Henry may have got a pass interference call with that left hand around the back of Corey Grant. No flag.
McManus has a slight wind behind him, but that ball was slightly underthrown. Grant had a step. So it's a second and long situation. McManus in the shotgun. Across the middle. It's complete to Mike Morreale. First down across center field.
Well, this is Danny McManus at his best, because there wasn't very much room for him to get that football in, but he has a lot of faith in the arm strength, a lot of faith in that quick release. So when McManus sees you only have to be open for a minute, and Morreale opens up for just that second, the ball is right there on the spot.
16-yard gain. The Alouette defenders promising to be more physical with the Hamilton receivers in this game, thinking they can intimidate and jar them in those crossing patterns, but not on that one to Morreale. Handoff. Off tackle, Williams, nowhere to go. Stephen Reed, one of the first men to make contact. As they turn back, big Ronald Williams.
Stephen Reed was just filling a hole. It looked like they were going to blitz on first down, but it's not a blitz because they feel Hamilton is going to pass. It's a blitz to stop the run. They want to control Ron Williams on first down, so you'll see the linebackers creeping up to the line of scrimmage more often. Stephen Reed makes the play there. What he's got to be careful of is that Danny McManus doesn't pull it down and throw it behind him.
Losses 2, second and 12. And the play is blown down. It looks like a time count violation against the Tiger Cats, the second one of the game. So little mistakes costing the Tiger Cats.
Well, a couple now. You think they may have taken 3 points off the board when they had too many men in a field goal formation, and now have really put themselves in a bind in second and long because of a time count violation. That's the second time they've had a time count. And again, it's probably nerves, even though they're veterans. First quarter is awful tough to get through.
Second and 17 for McManus and the Hamilton offense. Their own 51. McManus pressured, throws it outside for Grant over his head. And so the vaunted passing attack of the Tiger Cats firing some blanks here in the first quarter.
Well, you know the defensive line for the Montreal Alouettes on second and a whole bunch are going to get after it. Jason Richards puts the hit on Danny McManus. McManus threw it to the outside where only Corey Grant can catch it. If Corey Grant goes up and makes an unbelievable play, they get the first down.
Glenn, it looked on that play that they broke his rhythm. He had to hold the ball for a little bit, and then he was rocked as he let it go.
McManus has only been sacked 7 times in the regular season, but 4 of them were against Montreal.
He's a timing passer. Here's Osbaldiston again angling the ball, trying to get it away from Winston October. It bounces over his head. Back to the 10-yard line of Montreal. October can't get away. Tommy Henry, the veteran, first man down on special teams. A 48-yard punt by Osbaldiston and a loss of 1 on the return.
Closed captioning for this program is brought to you by Crown Royal.
Welcome back to Montreal. A flag on the play, and it looks like it's coming back against Hamilton, which might help out Montreal because they've had dreadful field position to start their drive.
Well, absolutely. This is against the Hamilton Tiger Cats.
Major foul, face mask, Hamilton number 15. Third down repeated.
Joe Higgins, yes, called for the face mask, and another bad penalty.
Yeah, and that's the third mistake for the Hamilton Tiger Cats, and now it's a huge difference in field position because they had the Montreal Alouettes pinned way back in their end of the field, and now by the time they get it back in this exchange, they're probably going to lose up to 30, maybe 40 yards in field position because of one penalty.
Well, Glenn, it's 3rd and 32.
Yeah, there's no place for that except punt.
Winston October is deep, along with Thomas Haskins back at about their own 35-yard line.
The other thing is the Hamilton punt team have covered a punt. They're tired right now.
Osbaldiston kicks it high, but there are flags down on the play. Haskins trying to return it and is dragged down by Ronald Williams. There are flags down, and the Alouettes might have too many men on the field.
Well, they're taking turns now.
And another flag down by the Tiger Cat bench as tempers begin to flare. There had been some trash talk in the newspaper all week, and Chris Schelling is upset.
There's no question these two teams do not like each other.
Well, they were using the media as the messenger throughout the week, complaining about holding and face masking and so forth.
Too many men, Montreal. Unnecessary roughness against the Hamilton Tiger Cats. We'll have to sort out exactly who will have the option depending on which penalty was first. Paul Osbaldiston is the captain on special teams. He's got his hat on. He doesn't want to punt again. And it would be a tough situation for the Ticats. They've now run 2 40-yard wind sprints back to back. If they have to do it again, it's going to be tough, and that's when you can usually break a return, depending on how long it takes them to sort out the penalty. They're getting their win back right now.
It's Tracy Ham telling Schelling to calm down. He is a voice of reason throughout this season on the sidelines, talking to his own teammates in situations where tempers flared. He has a great fun-loving attitude as a veteran of 12 division finals.
Too many men, Montreal. Penalties declined. Major foul, unnecessary roughness. Hamilton, first down.
Well, there you go. So what'll happen is Montreal gets the field position. They won't have to punt again on the unnecessary roughness penalty that came after the fact.
And so all of those Ticat penalties give Montreal their best field position of the opening quarter. It'll be first down at the 40. Previous 2, they started at their own 11 and their own 14-yard line. Scholes, Morstan left. Handoff Pringle following the block, and a big collision with Chris Schelling at the 45.
Chris Schelling got fired up. He was the guy over there involved in the unnecessary roughness. And boy, did he ever shoot the gap and hit Pringle in the hole. And that's saying something, because Mike Pringle is a load. We all know that. He cuts back against the grain. He's got his shoulders low, and Schelling hits him right in the mouth.
Looked like Pringle lost his footing as he made the plant to cut back against the grain, but he got about 5 yards on the play. Second down. Flare pass to Pringle again, heading for the first down marker. He won't get there. Driven out of bounds by Joe Higgins with some support from Calvin Tiggle. It'll be third down and about a yard shy.
The Hamilton defense right now are showing blitz and then dropping out of it. They're trying to confuse Tracy Ham with some different looks. Calvin Tiggle a couple of times now has snuck up into the line of scrimmage and then dropped out of there, as has Joe Higgins. Higgins has the great quickness from the linebacker position. He can show blitz and still have the great athletic ability and time to get out of there and get to his drop and in his zone. And he did that play and hit Mike Pringle out of bounds, forced him to punt.
That's a second down situation in which Pringle has been stopped shy of the first down marker. Baker to punt. Gets a high spiral, but it's not deep. Higgins has it for Hamilton. Flags are down. And there may have been a few Montreal players inside the 5-yard restraining zone for no yards. A 3-yard return on a 36-yard punt.
Well, now the Hamilton Tiger Cats, what they have to do is just calm down and settle down and run their offense.
No yards. Montreal 87. First down.
So Andre Bolduc is called for no yards. That'll help out the Tiger Cats. Danny McManus looks the same after an interception or after a touchdown pass. And he was saying to me the other week he looks forward to playoff time because everybody else gets so uptight.
Yeah, and that's the perfect guy to go into that huddle and say, guys, we got to calm down. Forget about these penalties that keep knocking us back. Hang on to the football. Let's execute our offense. Calm down, because it's the penalties and mistakes that have hurt him so far in the first quarter.
Pitch pass. Corey Grant has it. Gets a great block and a first down the sidelines. Darren Flutie really opened that up for Corey Grant.
Boy, did he ever. You know, the team that wins this game will be the team that does the little things. Not necessarily when they have the ball if you're a receiver, but if you make that little block. And that block on Mark Washington is the reason Corey Grant got to the outside and got big yardage.
Corey Grant, the Eastern nominee for Rookie of the Year. Trevor Shaw coming into the game for Flutie. First down situation. Flutie doesn't look shaken up after the block. Hand off to Ronald Williams. It's tough sledding for him again. Williams had 23 yards on his first carry, but just 4 yards on the subsequent 4.
Montreal does a pretty good job in the inside of their defensive line with Jason Richards and Ed Filion to plug up the middle, and they will start to figure out how they're trying to be attacked in their running game and take care of that. What the Hamilton offense has done, though, and what they're trying to set up is through formation. On that last play, they put all their players to one side. Archie Amerson hitting after it with Davis Sanchez down the field.
Amerson is a fiery competitor. High snap. McManus has it. Looking for Amerson, but he's grabbed. There's a flag on the play, and it looks like Davis Sanchez will be called for interference.
And he knows it. Davis Sanchez knows it. He had his hand on Archie Amerson's back. And I believe he even grabbed some cloth.
Amerson was in first down territory.
Yeah, he grabbed a little cloth. You see how Emerson's shoulder got pulled around? That's because Davis Sanchez had his hands on the back of his jersey. Sanchez is the extra defensive back in the Montreal scheme. He'll be in charge of going over and covering Archie Amerson, especially on sure passing downs, which that was.
Sanchez doesn't seem too upset about that call.
It happens. Didn't get away with that one, that's all.
Tiger Cats first down at the Montreal 32. McManus pumps across the middle. It's complete to Morreale. Drops the ball, but did the whistle go? The whistle had been blown. He was in the grass. Very close to a Hamilton first down, and the capacity crowd at Molson Stadium doesn't like the call. Charlie Taft wondering as well. And it's a first down and a deep threat for Hamilton. Mike Morreale with his second catch of the game and a Hamilton first down, but Glenn, he may have benefited from an early whistle. Let's listen.
Whoa. It was a quick whistle, and the whistle went right when the ball came out, almost at the exact same time. And the Hamilton Tiger Cats basically dodged a bullet because it was a quick whistle, and it looked like the ball was out of there.
So perhaps Montreal has a point. Jobbed on a quick whistle. First down, Hamilton. They've got an extra lineman in. Ronald Williams in the backfield with the handoff. Through to the secondary. And very close to another first down. Take another look at that fumble, Glenn.
It's a key play.
It wasn't a fumble.
The key play in the game because Mike Morreale is still up right now. The ball is out, and that's right when the whistle went. So the whistle, first of all, was blown too soon because you're allowed to hold the guy up. Mike Morreale was not down when that whistle went. Now, the timing of the whistle and when the ball was pulled out of there were almost simultaneous.
Second and inches, and Hamilton has its jumbo offense in. There's Beveridge joining the offensive line, and linebacker Joe Higgins is in the game in the backfield. Higgins and Williams. Right side, Williams. He'll have the first down. Lester Smith, the safety, makes the tackle very close to the 5-yard line.
Well, if Lester Smith doesn't make this tackle, then Ron Williams is doing his dance in the end zone, because he had an opening. A good block at the point of attack by Jared Smith on the corner. I believe it was Irv Smith, and then it was Lester coming up and saving a touchdown for the Alouettes.
You're right. He misses that tackle, and Ronald Williams is in the end zone. 2nd and goal. Tiger Cats at the 6. Williams, the lone man in the backfield. McManus audibling at the line of scrimmage. He'll hand off again. Williams to the goal line. Touchdown, Tiger Cats. And the boos go up. The fans still smarting after that quick whistle call on Morelli, allowing the drive to continue, and the Tiger Cats score the first touchdown of the football game.
Talking to the Montreal coaching staff before the game and asked them what would be the key to this game, and who, because it is so close and such a good matchup, and they simply said the team that can come back from adversity the best, because bad things will happen to both teams during this game. And Charlie Taft, was a quick whistle, didn't get the fumble. It probably should have. Hamilton ended up scoring. Now he's got to bounce back.
Paulus Balduson's convert is good, and so the Tiger Cats, on the strength and on the big legs of this man, Ronald Williams, open a 7-1 lead over the Alouettes here early in the Eastern Final. There he is, the human 10-pin bowling ball, Ronald Williams, with the game's first touchdown. Averaging 5.5 yards a carry so far in the first half. 9 carries already at 50 yards. Osbaldiston to kick off for Hamilton. It's high and short. Thomas passes it to 25. Across the 40, and then he's clotheslined by Lamar McGriggs at the 40.
Well, this game is very physical. Both teams going at it, especially in the trenches. And on that touchdown, Ron Williams is going to get a big block from Dave Hack. Right at the point of attack. Right there is the big block. It's Dave Hack against Alfred Payton, the matchup that we will watch throughout this afternoon. And
wow,
Payton was on roller skates all the way back into the end zone.
Totally manhandled Payton, and his roommate, Cody Ledbetter, Dave Hack's roommate, said he's been Jimmy, the alter ego, for the last couple of days, undergoing his personality change a couple of days early. He gets jacked up. Here's Pringle through the middle of the Hamilton defense in a big gain, close to a first down.
And the reason it was a big gain is because Calvin Tiggle got blocked. And right now, this is what Hamilton wants to do. Hamilton want to keep any of the offensive line from Montreal off Calvin Tiggle. That time, Tiggle got caught up in the mix and got blocked.
Yeah, turned around. Had his back to the ball carrier on that play. The Hamilton defensive line tries to clog up that middle to keep Tiggle free. A hard hit at the 50-yard line on that 2nd and 1 situation.
Pierre Vercheval pulled that time, and he was trying to get to Tiggle, but Tiggle's quickness got him to the hole before Vercheval could get there. Obviously, the game plan. Look at Vercheval, number 59. See him go by Tiggle? Tiggle's quickness beat the block. But the game plan for Montreal offensively is to get one of their guards on number 73, either Pierre Vercheval or Brian Chew. That time he missed it.
Gain was 2 and a first down for Montreal. Play action now. Here's Ham looking deep. Pressure now. He'll run for the first time. He'll have a first down and more. Ham is loose at the 40. And then he slides to the 35. Looked like he lost his footing, but Rob Hitchcock was waiting for him.
Yeah, he went down. He slanted. That's a smart decision by Tracy Ham. You're going to see Tracy Ham run the football more in this game than he has all season, because it's important that he does. Tracy Ham will take off. You think back to 1995 when he was leading the Baltimore Stallions in Regina against the Calgary Stampeders in the Grey Cup game. He was the reason they won, and it was his running ability that won that game for him.
Big 23-yard carry for Tracy Ham and a Montreal first down. Back to pass. Ham across the middle. looking for Ben Cahoon. He's complaining that there was interference from Calvin Tiggle, and a late flag in the secondary goes down.
Well, the umpire turned around and looked at him, Ian Bain, but didn't throw the flag. It was the back judge, I believe, that threw the
Forward
flag.
pass interference. Hamilton, number 73. First down.
And so after the quick whistle that kept the Morreale-Hamilton drive alive, a break here for the Alouettes, and that was clearly interference.
No question about it. Calvin Tiggle grabbed Ben Cahoon coming across the middle, turned him around. A good call by the official.
CFL's leading tackler, Calvin Tiggle, 106 tackles on the season. Ham handing off to Pringle, right into the funnel in that middle of the Hamilton defense, and Tim Terry has the tackle. The Tiger Cats trying to break up the Montreal offensive line and take away Pringle's lane.
Yeah, and that's the job of Tim Terry, but you saw Tim Terry there go down and get involved in the running game against Mike Pringle. What he's got to be careful of, and what Tracy Ham will be watching for, is if he continues to cheat down there, Tracy Ham will pull the ball and get to the corner.
Thomas Haskins is in, 5 receivers set for Montreal, second and long. Ham pumps, another look, rolling right. He can run if he wants. He will, but he won't get to the first down marker as Joe Montfort was right there and jumped on him.
Thomas Haskins was running a pattern down the field, and Haskins couldn't decide whether or not to turn and block for Ham or to try and open up and create a target for Ham.
Another third down situation, 3rd and 1.
I think they're going to go. Tracy Ham gets the outside. He was going to throw to Thomas Haskins. Had Haskins turned around and tried to get a block, he may have got the first down.
Haskins comes back out. Michael Souls is in at fullback for the Alouettes, and he tries to calm down the crowd as Tapp looks on in this 3rd down gamble.
And it is a yard. I mean, this is a yard.
Ham hands off to Pringle. Tries to turn the corner. I don't think so. Rob Hitchcock and Chris Schelling filling quickly and stringing out that running play by Pringle.
Well, he got a very liberal spot, and they are going to take a look at it. They're going to measure it.
Boy, did they ever get a good spot.
The Hamilton defense turned Pringle's shoulders to the sideline, but they got a very, very generous spot.
With this spot, they'll get it by half the length of the football. A generous spot for the Alouettes, and a first down on what looked like a precarious 3rd down gamble. The ball just shy of the Hamilton 15-yard line. Ham back to pass. Wide open, Tyree Davis. Back for the first down marker and forced out of bounds at the 6. Ham now reeling off 5 straight completions.
Hamilton, 99. First down.
Jeff Cummins was in a bit of a battle with Brian Chu way behind the play, and he's going to get the unnecessary roughness penalty.
Bad penalty, and I looked on that replay. It looked like he was stopped well short of the first down.
That was the play before, that's right. Well, Charlie Tapp didn't get the break on the fumble by Morreale. He may have got the break there.
Half the distance to the goal line, and so it's first down. Montreal at the Hamilton 3-yard line. Pitch out. Pringle, right side. Cats waiting, but there are flags on the play.
And Chris Schelling was coming on a secondary blitz, and he jumped way offside. He couldn't get back.
Offside. Hamilton, number 30. Still first down.
Right you are, Glenn. And so they move it half the distance again. This time, a yard and a half from the goal line.
Ron Lancaster wanted to bring some pressure down the goal line. Here he is, number 30. See him jumping. He's trying to time it on the snap count. Tracy Ham, the veteran, staggers his snap count and drew Chris Schelling offside.
High formation, Souls and Pringle in the backfield. First down and goal. Hand off to Pringle, crashing at the goal line. Touchdown. Mike Pringle lights up the capacity crowd at Molson Stadium with the Alouettes' first touchdown. And what a collision.
He was not going to be denied from that far out.
The point after from Terry Baker is good. And the Alouettes go in front as Mike Pringle carries the mail and into the end zone. Mike Pringle up on his feet on the Alouette bench talking to his offensive lineman. What a collision for that touchdown.
Two hard-nosed football players going head-to-head. This was the gamble on third down, and you can see that they run around the 16, got the spot a lot closer. Here is the touchdown, and watch the contact. Tiggle gets drawn off the ball about a yard and a half.
Tony Akins returning the kickoff from Baker slipped shy of the 40-yard line. An 11-yard return. But the Tiger Cats have been blessed with good field position in this game. A flag is down.
Well, that was some good contact on that touchdown. Mike Pringle and Kelvin Tiggle going nose to nose.
Mike was telling me the other day that when they hit him, when they try to intimidate him, he just brings it even harder.
Montreal number 11, or re-kick.
So Winston October was offside on the kickoff, and they'll do it all over again. Haskins and Pringle. Haskins, who's been the super sub for this team all year, subbing for Jock Climby at slot back, and then for Pringle when he missed 2 games at running back, piling up the yards.
Yeah, he did. Both games that he went in for Pringle, he was over 100 yards rushing.
Back after missing 5 weeks with a broken hand. And there you see Tiggle and Hitchcock, 2 of the hardest knocks on that Hamilton defense, talking about a way to stop Pringle.
Strength down the middle, and the Hamilton defense have strength down the middle with Tiggle at the linebacker, Rob Hitchcock at the free safety position.
So Baker will try again from the 30. Archie Emerson, Tony Akins back. This is a big punt, a big kickoff to the 15. Akins across the 30, looking for a wall. He gets one outside, and Terry Baker forced him out. Baker, with 12 special team tackles this season, has been forced into service on many occasions. 30-yard return.
A lot of times in punts, too, Terry Baker will take off running because sometimes the returner will let it bounce around a little bit. Danny McManus put together a good drive. Got a little bit of a help last time when Mike Morreale's fumble wasn't a fumble, but 4 of 7, 66 yards. Not huge numbers, but he hasn't thrown an interception yet either.
And he hasn't thrown a pass yet to Flutie or Amerson for a completion. Got to get them in the game. First down, Cats. They'll go back to the pitch out. Ronald Williams looking to cut inside. Swift Burt slows him down, and then Williams dives for a few.
In the last series, the Hamilton offense put in an interesting formation. What they did was they brought in Bob Beveridge to play the extra lineman. They played like a heavy set, and they ran right at Alfred Payton. Payton is a pure pass rusher and one of the best in the business, but he can run the ball against it.
2nd and 7, Tiger Cats. McManus in the shotgun. Here comes the blitz. Gets it away for Amerson. Tries to one-handed, but Sanchez is draped all over his back. Incomplete. And a punt situation for the Tiger Cats.
Obviously, Montreal going to just leave Davis Sanchez in the game against Archie Amerson because really, Archie Amerson is a receiver. Sanchez had an interference call a couple series back. That time it was clean.
Hey, listen, if you want Montreal to go to the cup, maybe just ask them.
Some tough words on the Ticat bench, and the Alouette secondary doing as they promised, being physical with the Tiger Cat receivers. Osbaldiston with a 42.7-yard average into a slight breeze. Picks the ball off the turf. Spiral angle to the sideline. Winston October has it at the 19. There's a flag, and it looks like a clip on the play. Morreale was driven wide of Winston October by Dwight Henry. So a flag-filled first half and a low-scoring first half for the 2 dominant teams in the East. It's Montreal by 1 with 6:39 to go to the half. Montreal's cheerleaders trying to drum up this capacity crowd, and the Owls will need it starting on their own 10.
Yeah, and they're going to have to drum up Winston October, who got hit hard by Rob Hitchcock on that kick. There's a lot of contact going on down on the field. Usually when there's a big hit around, Rob Hitchcock is pretty close by.
Ham, who has been nearly perfect through the air so far in this Eastern Final. They play it conservatively on the ground. Lamar McGriggs hog ties Mike Pringle, and there's a flag in the backfield.
Another flag in there. Looks like they're going to call Montreal with a holding.
Holding, Montreal 68. Penalties declined, second down.
Brian Chu called for holding, and if the 10-yard line wasn't bad enough,
I think what Hamilton
lose it down.
Yeah,
they're not going to give him the penalty. They'll lose it down.
That's right. They'll decline the penalty. They'll take the down instead of the penalty. They already got him backed up far enough.
Yeah. 2nd and 10 from their own 10. 5 receivers set for the Alouettes. Ham with time down the middle. Browning had it and dropped it. That's the second one he's had in his hands and dropped it.
He dropped 2 clean ones that he should have caught. That was one of them, and he had one knocked out of his hands by Rob Hitchcock and Gerald Vaughn earlier in the game, and this is another one. It's a little bit behind him, but Tracy Ham had to throw it in that hole. That was the only spot to put it, and Alfonso Browning should have come up with the catch.
And so some rookie nerves for Alfonso Browning, and he's talking to himself as he heads to the bench. Terry Baker now will have to punt from his own goal line. Gets it away. Deep across center field. Tony Akins has it. He can't get much further as Hensey Charles is down right away and brings him down at center field, but good field position for the Tiger Cats. First down, Tiger Cats at center field. Ronald Williams off tackle left, and it was crowded running.
Mark, we got to take another look at a special teams play Hensey Charles makes on that last punt from Terry Baker. He's going to lead the coverage team down the field for Montreal, and he really does a nice job at the end of it with a big hit, gets to the outside and makes the tackle. Special teams where all the contact happens.
Charles swift downfield, and during that replay, flags were dropped at center field. More pushing and shoving, and Dave Hack looked to be involved.
Major foul. Montreal 24. Unnecessary roughness. Major foul. Hamilton 90. Unnecessary roughness. Still second down.
Well, those are penalties that are always after the fact, and those are the penalties that'll lose you a football game in a hurry.
Well, Dave Hack was in the middle of the pushing and shoving there. Didn't get called for a penalty, but he has a reputation. Joining the feud. 2nd down and 6. Tiger Cats. McManus going deep. Corey Grant's open. Can't get it. Or rather, Amerson. The ball coming right down into his hands. And great coverage on the play by David Sanchez.
David Sanchez did not quit on the play because Archie Amerson was open. We talked about this matchup, and this is what Danny McManus wanted to look to, and see how Amerson has about 2 yards? Well, watch Sanchez. He doesn't quit and goes for the strip and gets it. Amerson doesn't have the ball long enough to keep possession, and it's ruled incomplete pass. That's just not giving up on the play for David Sanchez.
Sanchez getting all kinds of attention from McManus in this football game. Osbaldiston will punt from the 45. Hamilton blowing good field position. Angled to the sidelines and out again as Paul Osbaldiston continues to try to keep a return out of the hands of Montreal.
I'll tell you what he's doing. He's kicking the ball very low and trying to get it out of bounds to prevent a return. The problem with doing that is if you do kick it too far into the middle of the field and it's a low line driver, you won't allow your cover team to get down there underneath it. And it can create a big return opportunity for the Montreal Alouettes. So he's got to be careful when he drives that ball as low as he has been.
David Sanchez, who's had his hands full today, being tested time and time again, but he's risen to the challenge. Souls is out as a receiver. Ham back to pass, deep for Browning. He's got it. First down.
This is the payback for Tracy Ham. Alfonso Browning dropped a couple of them, but Ham stuck with them, and he just got the payback right there. Right over the middle, and it was a tough catch. Orlando Steinauer right on his back, and Alfonso Browning comes up with it.
So Ham building some confidence in his shaky rookie receiver. Stay on the ground. Pringle with a head of steam right up the middle.
But I can't emphasize enough how far that goes for the whole team. It's a trickle-down effect when your quarterback comes into the huddle, commands the respect that Tracy Ham does, and then when he has a receiver struggling like Alfonso Browning did in the first quarter and sticks with them, it builds the confidence of everybody. Tracy Ham knows what he's doing. He's in control of that huddle right now.
And that's one of the reasons Charlie Taft went with the veteran in this big game. Second down. Ham looking, will run, puts his head down, and takes a ferocious hit at center field, short of the first down. Calvin Tiggle puts a lick on Tracy Ham. And he's all right, but it's 3rd down and 3 in a punting situation for the Owls. It's a low-scoring Eastern final, mainly because the defensive coordinators have the upper hand. Don Southern, he's coached in 7 Grey Cups, played in 8. He knows how to get there. And Rod Rush, 37 years of experience in football, and he's 71 years of age. 2 wise men who have helped shut down these offenses. Terry Baker with a shanked punt, bouncing to Amerson, and he's tackled immediately. Ed Thomas right there, a 31-yard punt and just a 4-yard return by Archie Amerson.
Both defensive coordinators have a good game plan, and they really are executing it. Both defensive teams on the field, but offensively, you've got 2 veteran quarterbacks playing in Danny McManus and Tracy Ham. Both are doing the smart things right now. They're not forcing the football down the field. They're not trying to gamble with long balls too often or throwing into coverage. If they have to punt the ball, they both realize that's not necessarily a bad thing, and that's why the game has been as low scoring as it has been.
So it'll be first down. Tiger Cats, hitch pass. Corey Grant has it. Tries to get outside. A couple of big blocks from Andrew Grigg, Amerson, and Morielli, but they can't spring the rookie. Coming up on the Canadian Airlines halftime show, we'll talk live with Mike Pinball Clemens out in Vancouver. He's set for the West finalists, the Stampeders and the BC Lions, right after the Eastern final here in Montreal. Chris Walby, of course, with his Dodge Pro Tips, and Glenn and I will have the first half analysis here in Montreal. And they're pumping in crowd noise over the loudspeakers here at Molson Stadium when the Ticats are on offense in this 2nd and long situation. Darren Flutie with his first catch of the game and a first down for Hamilton.
Often what Hamilton will try and do, especially in key situations, is put all the receivers to one side of the field except for Darren Flutie, and they'll leave him on the backside. This time Andrew Grigg gives him a little bit of a pick, so he can buy some time, get outside on Mark Washington.
12-yard pickup and a first down, and there's no crowd noise from the speakers on this series. The crowd, though, beginning to get vocal. McManus to pass across the middle. It's intercepted. Stephen Reed has it for the Alouettes. And the free safety helped knock that one loose, Glenn.
Boy, did he ever. Lester Smith will come up and lower the boom. Watch this hit. Boom. That's separating the football from the receiver. And Lester Smith having another all-star year. Although Rob Hitchcock was voted the all-star, and he deserved it, Lester Smith also had a great season. Boy, did he lower the boom on Mike Morielli on that one. He's the guy who created the turnover.
Morielli has been rocked 2 weeks in a row across the middle. Here's Ham. Wide side, Ben Cahoon beats one tackle, And finally, Shino Prater holds on. The gain will be about 6 yards.
That kind of play from your free safety is infectious. That'll go through the whole team. Ben Cahoon, watch how much he fights for extra yardage on this little catch to the sideline. He's just going to try and keep breaking tackles. That's because Lester Smith just knocked Mike Morreale, knocked the ball out of his hands. Ben Cahoon says, hey, if we're going to start hitting like that, I'm going to keep on working.
There's Lester enjoying that one. Handoff up the middle. Pringle is stopped, then beats off 304 and gets the first down. Oh, that's power.
Wow. Look at him. Now, see, this is, they've got him enthusiastic now. They're out there jumping around. Neil Ford ran about 10 yards down the field after Pringle drove this pile.
And Montford had him but couldn't hold him.
Look at that. That's Joe Mumford.
And look at Neil Ford.
He took Joe Mumford. Now Neil Ford, after this play, gets up and does a little celebration. He's so excited. They got some momentum right now.
First down, Alouettes. Here's Ham dodging one rush across the middle, and it's too low, intended for Alfonso Browning. Incomplete. Wow, big Neil Ford, 350 pounds, looked like a tow truck pushing somebody out of the ditch.
And then he went for a dance. That's as far as he's run in any game. I tell you, Lester Smith started it off with his big hit, but that was quite a run by Mike Pringle.
But a critical 2nd and 10 situation for the Alouettes with 1:22 to go in the opening half. Ham drops back. Time pumps, rolls out, buys himself some more. Montford in pursuit, downfield to Cahoon. He's got it!
It was awful close as to whether or not Ben Cahoon came down with the ball. He had to catch it twice. Unbelievable throw by Ham on the run, because he's going full speed now. Cahoon catches it twice. That's the 2nd time, and he did get the shoulder was inbounds when it touched the ground. The official was right on the spot.
It's a 23-yard gain on that pass to Cahoon and a first down at the 20. Ham looking, relieves it. Haskins has it for a first down and steps out of bounds, but there are flags on the play. And it looks like a clip against the Alouettes.
The Hamilton Tiger Cats were going with the safety blitz from Rob Hitchcock. Ham recognized it, dumped the ball, but I think there's going to be a clipping.
Illegal block. Montford was after yards were gained. First down.
And there you see Hitchcock having words with Tyree Davis, renewing acquaintances after the big hit that knocked him out back in September.
I called 24 on the illegal block. It was 84. Tyree Davis that made the illegal block on the play. They're going to take Davis out and let him cool down a little bit. Charlie Taft does not want a shouting match to be going on the field, because what it does is it takes Tyree Davis out of his game plan. He loses focus, and that's what you heard on the side. They're saying, calm down.
Patience and focus, two things that Taft stressed to his team in anticipation of this match.
And you talked about Rob Hitchcock talking to Tyree Davis.
Rob Hitchcock is intimidated.
Right now, get a 28-point winter checkup, oil, lube, and filter, tire rotation, and a bonus emergency road kit, all for just $29.95. Only at Canadian Tire.
So cooler heads prevailing. Sylvain Gerard, the rookie from the Lac Saint Jean region, in for Haskins. The handoff to Mike Pringle. Right through the gut of the Hamilton defense, and another flag is down.
Right in the holding area.
And Hitchcock signals this one's coming back.
Holding, Montreal 53. First down repeated.
Zuma Okeke, the left tackle.
Okay.
And you can see Tapp is furious. 3 holding calls, he says.
Okeke was... He's to the left of your screen working on Mumford. You see the little hold right there. He grabbed Mumford's jersey. Just enough to keep him out of the hole.
Well, that's a 10-yard penalty, Glenn, and so it's 1st and 20 for the Alouettes. A minute to go in the half. Ball back at the 27-yard line. Tracy Ham back to pass. Flushed. Pressure now from Montfort. Gets away. Here's Ham running. And slides as Orlando Steinauer fills shy of the 15-yard line.
Ham wants a penalty. Ham wants a penalty on Steinauer. He jumped up, looked right at the officials, and asked them to watch it because Ham slid feet first. When you go feet first as a quarterback, you don't expect to get hit, and Orlando Steinauer was very close.
Joe Montfort so close, had his jersey.
Oh, he still got the moves. He can still get it done on the ground.
So Ham gets back to the original line of scrimmage. 2nd and 10. Back to pass to the end zone. So Tracy Ham comes back. He calms the nerve of the rookie Browning. Then he throws him the touchdown pass.
Exactly. And you think back to the 2 drops by Alfonso Browning. He dropped 2 in a row on Tracy Ham. If Tracy Ham abandons Alfonso Browning at that point, he may not have caught that touchdown. But Ham went right back with him, and in this series, he made 2 big catches.
Ham looking like the old Tracy Ham, running and then passing. Terry Baker with the point after. And with 31 seconds to the half, the veteran has his team in front 15-7.
Well, Tracy Ham takes his time, waits for Alfonso Browning to open up. Browning takes a hit. That's too late. It's after the fact he's in the end zone. And now, all of a sudden, Alfonso Browning has a ton of confidence. And in a game as close as this, with 2 teams matched up as well as they are, he's going to need Alfonso Browning from start to finish.
So Ham brought into this game after missing 9.
He started it off, didn't he? Lester Smith with a huge hit on Montreal to get the ball back.
Charlie Taft saying, this is the guy who's going to put my team at ease and relieve the tension when it comes to a championship game. And he certainly did that with Alfonso Browning. He ran for 10, then fired across the grain. A tough pass as Browning beat Gerald Vaughn, who leads the league in interceptions with 9.
Browning's keeping the football. He's keeping that one. That one's going in the trophy case, and he has a story to tell if Montreal ends up winning this game, because he can sit back and say, you know, I didn't start very well, but I made a couple of big catches, and that ball on my mantelpiece, that was one of them.
Tony Akins bobbles the kickoff, then gets a hold of it and is brought down just across the Hamilton 40-yard line for a 16-yard return. He was born in Montreal, but raised in the United States, and so he's an import.
My little babies and my lady, man. I ain't worried about the damage.
Keeping that ball.
It was quite a drive by the Montreal Alouettes. Tracy Ham mixed it up quite well in the drive. Ran the ball a little bit when he had to. That's the hit that started it off from Lester Smith. When Ham took control, went to Ben Cahoon on the outside. A big run by Mike Pringle. He took the pile, including Joe Montfort, for a first down.
Here's McManus, deep to Darren Flutie. He's got it! Darren Flutie down to the 26-yard line, and so Danny McManus strikes back.
And 2 veteran quarterbacks that are not phased. Doesn't matter what happens on the field against their defense. They come back and they're going to respond. Darren Flutie got in behind Baron Miles, something that doesn't happen very often on Baron Miles.
19 seconds to go and counting. First down, Tiger Cats at the 26. McManus to pass again to the end zone. And he throws it away, looking at Archie Amerson, but well covered on the play.
He threw it away because Davis Sanchez was covering Archie Amerson, and just as Amerson went to make his break, Sanchez stepped up and hit him right in the mouth. And when he did that, it stopped Amerson in his tracks. McManus was locked in on him and had to just throw it away and save the sack.
second down, 8.9 seconds, enough for one more play. Will they forego the field goal? McManus, deep again. Ronald Williams, he has it. Touchdown! What a catch! What a catch by Williams! And the crowd is silent at Molson Stadium. But there's a flag on the play.
Maybe coming back. Danny McManus.
Offside. Hamilton, number 2.
Oh, boy.
Second down, your
Corey Grant. Receivers should never, ever be offside, because he always is out there to ask the official if he's lined up properly. And Corey Grant got caught on the offside to take points off the board for Hamilton. Danny McManus got the formation he wanted. He had Ron Williams one-on-one on Stefan Reed. He knew that's where he was going to go with the ball. Corey Grant was offside and took it away.
And so an exciting touchdown is called back. And Osbaldiston will attempt this field goal from the 37-yard line. It's up and good. So the Cats get 3 back on the last play of the first half. But Corey Grant, the rookie from Laurier University, is wincing.
He is the finalist for the Rookie of the Year, and he can't believe it.
An offside penalty kills a dramatic Tiger Cat touchdown from McManus to Ronald Williams. Let's go downstairs to Steve Armitage.
Thank you very much, Mark. I'm with the head coach of the Montreal Alouettes, Charlie Taff. Charlie, this one could go right down to the wire. Start off a little slowly, but it heated up in the last couple of minutes.
Well, it's a great football game. 2 good teams going at each other. It's everything you want in a championship caliber game. We had terrible field position early there. We moved the ball, but we had really bad field position to do anything, and you know, we got some mistakes, special teams mistakes, too many guys on the field, and we got to overcome those things. Fortunately, we got the lead, and we need to do a better job here in the second half.
Charlie, good luck in the second half.
Thank you.
Charlie Taff and the Montreal Alouettes in this Eastern final head to the dressing room with a 5-point lead on the Hamilton Ticats. This is the CFL on CBC. Well, we didn't get a classic amount of scoring in the first half in this Eastern final, but we certainly had some classic moments. Well, we didn't get a classic amount of scoring in the first half in this Eastern final, but we certainly had some classic moments. The Montreal Alouettes in the dressing room with a 5-point lead on the Hamilton Ticats. Standing by at BC Place Stadium and getting set for what should be a very entertaining Western final between the Calgary Stampeders and the BC Lions is our game day analyst, one of the all-time great running backs with the Toronto Argonauts, Mike Pinball Clemens. Mike, some thoughts on what you saw in the first half here in Montreal?
Well, we talked about YQK compliance in the beginning, and we see that it is turning out to be just that sort of game. A great game and set up for a great finish. When you talk about the Y, yards rushing, they've answered each other. Ronald Williams came out strong. Now Pringle is answered. They both have a TD, and they both have over 50 yards rushing. With the quarterbacks, I think Ham has had the edge here early on. He's not only thrown the ball effectively, but he's also run. But as usual, McManus answers the bell. Big drive at the end of the half. Almost got a touchdown. That may loom important towards the end of the game, but critical answer. And finally, the kicking. I think Paul Osbaldiston had the edge in the first half. He kept them backed up, kept Montreal backed up. Otherwise, this score may be a little more lopsided.
Pinball, when Tracy Ham is doing it all for the Alouettes like he is this afternoon, running and passing with authority, he's very, very difficult to contain.
Well, you know, we said in the beginning, you know, there was a little bit of controversy about who should start this game. I don't think there should have ever been any controversy. Tracy Ham is the man. He's a leader. He doesn't turn the ball over, and he plays big in big games. This is Tracy Ham's show. He's the man to take him to the cup.
Mike, I thought there was a little lack of discipline on the part of both teams in this first half here in Montreal.
Well, I think we had a little bit of jitters early on, but I think they've worked those things out. That is part of the game. It's going to be part of the game. But the team who now comes out in the second half and executes and stays away from those little problems are going to be more successful and probably win this ball game.
What sort of adjustments does Ron Lancaster have to make to get this Hamilton Ticat offense back into order? Danny Mack with Darren Flutie.
Well, you know what? I thought they did a very good job of going deep down the field. They went down the field 4 times. Darren Flutie caught one. The other 2 times they tried to go against Henry. He made a good play, and then they went down the field to Emerson, a ball he almost caught. But I think what they've done there is stretch the defense. So they've done a very good job of throwing the ball vertically and challenging the Montreal defense there. And now they have to simply be disciplined, continue to run Ronald Williams, and now maybe complete some shorter passes.
Ben Ball, thanks for joining us. It's always a pleasure to have you with us. Look forward to having you with us next week at the Grey Cup in Vancouver. Here at the half in the Eastern Final in the battle between the Owls and the Ticats, it's the Owls on top by 5.
Pro Tips with Chris Waldy. Brought to you by Dodge.
Welcome to Pro Tips. Destroying the quarterback. That's the name of the game for defensive linemen in this league. With me, the Beast of the East, the Master Disaster, Defensive Player of the Year last year, Mr. Joe Monfort.
Thanks, Chris. What we're going over today is a few tips on the inside pass rush move. And today we're going to be demonstrating some moves for Craig. Craig, the first thing you want to do is have your outside foot back, get plenty of spacing, take one giant step. He's open up, grab his shoulder, pull through, and another sack for the total, okay? Here we go. All right. Craig, your backside foot is up. Now remember, you got plenty of spacing, so step out a little bit. Okay, now you're good, ready? One step, slap, and pull through, and another sack. Here we go. Good job, eh?
Thanks, Joe. Another great tip. Tell you what, if you're an offensive lineman, or if you're a quarterback, be afraid. Be very, very afraid. Till next time, bye-bye.
Welcome back to Montreal. Williams, Pringle, and Browning have the major scores. It's the Alouettes leading the Ticats by a count of 15-10. Welcome to our Canadian Airlines halftime. Right now, we're going upstairs to get the highlights from Mark and his buddy. Guys, a good first half. I thought a very entertaining one. Started a little slowly, but heated up.
Well, that's right, Steve. I mean, it looks like this game is going to go down right to the wire like it did last year in Hamilton. I thought the first half was characterized by some tensions, witness the penalties, some nerves, witness the drop balls, and the calm guiding hand of Tracy Ham.
If there was question as to whether or not Tracy Ham should start in this game, I think they were answered in that first half. The way he dealt with Alfonso Browning. The rookie receiver dropped a couple of passes early, but Alfonso Browning made the plays later in the game because Tracy Ham stuck with them. This was early in the game. Alfonso Browning was struggling. He dropped 2 that was right in his arms and got hit there. But late in the game, Ham went right back to him, and it paid off. Alfonso Browning gets the touchdown to put him ahead. This is the type of game it has been defensively. Both teams really throwing the leather around. Lester Smith with the big hit on Mike Morreale.
And what do you make of Danny McManus, that late flurry? He got the ball with 31 seconds to go in the half and had that touchdown call back, but that's going to bode well for the second half.
Yeah, no question. The thing about Danny McManus is that none of this will phase him. The first half is over, and he knows it. Now he'll just regroup in the second half and come out and do what he does best. It's move the football down the field.
Danny McManus was good on 7 of 14 passes for 125 yards. But how about these numbers for Tracy Ham? Good on 12 of 16. 3 of those were drops by Browning for 156 yards. The 2 quarterbacks, the 2 veterans, looking strong as we get set to the second half here in Montreal. 30 minutes to the Grey Cup, and the Alouettes have a 15-10 lead on the Tiger Cats. Let's go to the sidelines. Here's Steve.
Late in the
Brian Lancaster, you're down by 5 as we start this second half. What adjustments do the Ticats have to make?
Okay, quit hurting ourselves. We've hurt ourselves more than they have. We've made every mistake possible. The game is still there. They haven't hurt us with our mistakes. We've escaped it. We got to play a little bit better, solid football, and don't hurt ourselves with penalties.
Ronnie, good luck in the second half.
You bet.
Mark, back to you.
Thanks, Steve. And, you know, the Tiger Cats, Glenn, have squandered 7 possible points on penalties. The 4 lost on the touchdown. They got the field goal at the end. And then at the beginning of the game, they got pushed out of field goal range.
That's right. They had too many people on the field. Didn't kick the field goal, had the punt, and then Corey Grant's offside took away 4 points possible for that touchdown.
Thomas Haskins at his own 27-yard line. There's a flag down again, and the flags have been flying all afternoon here in Montreal. NC Charles, first to make contact.
You know, and people at home may be wondering, you know, why are they having so many penalties in this game?
Illegal block. Montreal number 6.
Yeah.
First down.
You know, why are they getting so many penalties? Well, in a game like this, you don't want to be the guy that misses your block, or you don't want to be the guy that gets beat.
Well, that was right from behind early on. Hensey Charles with a blatant blocking from the rear.
Yeah, you don't want to be the guy that misses the block, and that's why these guys are doing a little bit of holding. They're getting caught right now.
And so the Alouettes will scrimmage 1st and 10 from their own 21-yard line. Ham play action pass. Pressure from Tim Terry. He's got him for a sack. And there's a flag on the play. It may be a face mask. And Ham looks like he's hurt. He's not getting up.
Major foul. Face mask. Hamilton 92. First down.
So Tim Terry, the rookie out of Temple, who took Gonzalo Floyd's job when he broke his hand, and Anthony Calvillo snaps on the chin strap and warms up on the Montreal bench, and this is not a good sight.
Looks like Ham is holding his back. He's reaching around with his left hand to his back. And
well, it looked like there was a lot of torque, Glenn, on that tackle.
Well, here it is again. Terry grabs the face mask when he has him right there, pulls him around, and right that last little twist looked like is what hurt Ham when he went down to the ground. Here's another angle of it. The left hand on the face. See how he's turned right around, and then there's another twist right down there when Ham's knee was already down on the ground, and he reached right for his back immediately.
So Calvillo, the top-rated passer in the CFL with a 108.4 efficiency rating, is warming as Tracy Ham is handled gingerly on the field. First play from scrimmage in the second half, and he's hurt.
Here's another look at it. Gets twisted around and goes down. This is a luxury, though, that Charlie Taft does have. He has probably the best combination at quarterbacks in the Canadian Football League when he can go to Anthony Calvillo. 108.4 quarterback rating, tied a CFL record set by David Archer back in 1995 when he was with San Antonio. That's how well Anthony Calvillo has played this year. There's his numbers on the season, just 6 interceptions. Probably more than anything, that's what Tracy Ham has taught him to do, protect the football.
And Ham looks like he's in tremendous difficulty as they help him off the field. And Mike Pringle is visibly upset. Anthony Calvillo lit up this Hamilton team in Game 3, giving Hamilton its worst defeat of the season, 52-19. And look at Tracy trying to crack a smile, but he's in obvious pain and difficulty.
Well, he's disappointed probably more than anything. I mean, you know he's in pain, and he's had some injury problems throughout the year. It looked like it was his back, but he's more disappointed than anything. He was so looking forward to playing in this game. I talked to him on Friday. He told me, he said, I have had enough practicing. I am ready to go. I've never been more focused. I've never been more prepared. He was looking forward to going from start to finish, and now he'll have to sit out at least a little while until they take a look at it.
Alouettes have the best 1-2 combination at quarterback. Calvillo's first play will be a handoff to Mike Pringle, who struggles for 4, maybe 5 yards up the gut.
They're going to take him right into the locker room to take a look at him, get the team doctors involved, and just make sure he's all right. And Alfred Payton wants to go and see how the leader is doing.
Well, a blow for the Alouettes as their veteran Tracy Ham is out, but they have all kinds of confidence in this man, Anthony Calvillo. His only playoff start experience was '96, the semifinal, a 22-11 loss with the Tiger Cats against Ham and the Alouettes. Here's Calvillo's first pass. It's nearly intercepted, was tipped at the line of scrimmage, and Orlando Steinauer had the end zone in front of him.
That was close. I mean, I think it was touched on the line, it looks like, by Mike Philbrook, and that may have just taken enough off the football and changed direction so that Orlando Steinauer couldn't come up with the interception. But it's a tough situation for Calvillo. He's got to go back over there and warm up a little bit.
Yeah, he didn't get many throws on the sideline before he was pressed into service. Terry Baker at his own 25 into a slight breeze, gets up beauty. A long spiral back to Akins across the 20. breaks a tackle and then is swarmed at the 30-yard line. A 52-yard punt by Terry Baker and a 12-yard return. The net is 40 yards on that exchange. And so the Cats go on offense when we come back.
Tracy Ham is in the Alouettes dressing room. The only word we get, guys, he has a back injury. They're not taking any chances. Tony Calvillo came out of the dressing room. I looked at him. I said, how bad is it? He simply shook his head.
It did look like a lot of twist in the upper body when Ham went down to the hands of Tim Terry. Here's McManus. Flat pass to Ronald Williams. Williams gets over top of Sanchez for a few more. It'll be second down, Hamilton. The gain limited to about 3 yards. So second and long for Danny McManus, who has 8 of 15, just over 50% for 128. But he looked awfully sharp in the last 30 seconds of the first half.
Really did. Hit Darren Flutie down the sideline, and he also hit Ron Williams, although that one was called back because Corey Grant was offside.
6 receiver set for the Tiger Cats. Wide side. It's intercepted. Baron Miles has it for the Owls.
This is why you have to be bang on in your timing if you're playing against the Montreal Alouettes secondary, because they'll make you pay. If you wait too long to throw the ball to wide field, they are very quick coming out of their breaks, and they go after the football. Baron Miles became the receiver of this play and just got there before Mike Morreale had a chance to even move to the football. It's a long throw by McManus, and he waited too long. Baron Miles looked like the receiver.
He's done that so many times, coming out of the weeds to strike on a late pass. Here's Calvillo, 1st and 10, Alouettes at the Hamilton 39-yard line. Pumps once. Time goes deep. No good. Cahoon, the intended receiver. And there was a collision on the play, but no flag there. A flag back in the backfield.
Well, at the end of the play, it looked like the ball really wasn't catchable. Cahoon was trying to come back to the football.
Holding, Montreal number 60. First down repeated.
Mike Sutherland, the center, called for holding. He spent the week saying how much the Hamilton defense holds. He gets tapped in this one. The Ball Hawks with their second interception of the game.
They've really played so well, that secondary from Montreal, considering there's 2 rookies in it.
1st and 20. Alouettes back to the 49. Pitch pass to Tyree Davis, looking for a block, trying to get some more yardage, then driven right through one of the sponsorship signs and out of bounds.
Not a bad play just to throw the hitch pass on 1st down. Yeah, you got to get 20, but you don't need it all in one play. Get back to the original line of scrimmage, basically, or a few yards away from it, and can reload on 2nd down. Calvillo has the stronger arm between Calvillo and Tracy Ham. He's the more pure passer, Ham more of the scrambler. One thing that Calvillo has learned from Tracy Ham is how important that football is.
5 receiver set for the Owls, Glenn. 2nd and 13 situation. Calvillo through the middle. Intended for Ben Cahoon, but it was behind him, and Chris Schelling was right there.
Chris Schelling was very physical with Ben Cahoon down the field, and he couldn't get any separation. Cahoon tried to push off him. So watch right at the end of this play. You see Schelling was right there. He didn't let him cut back into the middle. He made him go through his body.
Chris Schelling, an aggressive defensive back in his 2nd year out of Auburn. 60 tackles this year, filling quickly from the secondary. And a long field goal attempt now for Terry Baker. Ball spotted at the 49-yard line. He's hit from 51 this year. It's good. Big kick. Big kick. He hit one from 32 in the rain with 21 seconds to go against Edmonton, and that seemed to really boost his confidence.
Both kickers in warm-up looked very confident. I watched them both warm up. They had a good rhythm. They looked confident.
Well, Terry was hitting them from 55 in the warm-ups, and as you say, very confident and cool.
One of the offensive weapons for Montreal so far this afternoon has been their secondary. Lester Smith created a turnover early, and then Baron Miles in this last series leads to 3 points. The Lester Smith hit turned into 7 points from Montreal. That's 10 points from the secondary.
I tell you, the Ticat receivers seemed to give up on that ball. Miles wanted it more. Pitch out. Ronald Williams. Nowhere to go. Swift Birch was there, and accompanied by Stephen Reed. That pitch out hasn't really worked since the first play of the game.
You know, I go back to Tracy Ham being injured too, and when your leader goes down, and the way Tracy Ham has led this football team throughout the year, in some ways, everyone else across the board will reach down a little bit more, especially when it's something like after the fact, when Tim Terry kind of twisted Ham down. The rest of the guys now are that much more fired up.
Well, Ham was saying yesterday, this is a tighter team this season, more unity. Here's McManus going deep. Andrew Grigg has beaten his man, but can't hold on to the ball. It looked like he had the ball and then lost it. There's a flag on the play in the 50. Irv Smith.
That's 2 in a row, though. That's 2 in a row that Danny McManus has been right on the money. Early in the game, he went to Archie Amerson, who was wide open, had the ball in his hands, and Davis Sanchez stripped it out of there.
Here's Dave Ewell with the call. Irv Smith was step for step.
Washington is looking to the bench for some help. He is not a captain. Charlie Tapp wants to
Four
decline
pass
the penalty.
interference. Hamilton is declined. 3rd down.
Well, you heard Ron Lancaster talk about penalties killing his team.
It's the second time. This time it's Booty down the sideline, and it's Grigg. He has the football, but Irv Smith will not quit. See, that's the same thing Davis Sanchez did. He was beat, kept after it, went for the second stage. If you can't get the football, play the man. If you can't get the man, try and strip him.
So it's a 3rd and 20 situation. Osbaldiston punting from his own 15. He's blocked by Miles. At the 40, Winston October. More flags on the play as October goes down the sideline. Ozzie, the only man back, and he makes the tackle. Coming back.
That return is coming back. I saw 2 clips at least from Montreal. There was probably more. They tried to set up a wall down the sideline, and the rule of thumb is if you see the player's name tag, you don't hit
Illegal block. Montreal number 2. 1st down.
Sanchez gets the penalty to call back a huge return. We'll sort it out when we come back. Tommy Henry had position on Winston October, but then got drilled from behind.
Yeah, he did. It's to the left of your screen. Here it comes. Davis Sanchez trying to get a block, but he saw the name tag. Right there is the clip. Right in the middle of the back of Tommy Henry, and that's why that one came back.
Total of 24 penalties called so far in this Eastern Finals. Calvillo handing off to Mike Pringle. Big hole on the right side, and a Montreal 1st down, and no flags.
Surprise, surprise, no flags.
12-yard gain. Hamilton's been penalized 12 times so far, and so is Montreal.
Michael Souls, the lead blocker for Pringle. He gets the kick-out block, just enough of Higgins to make sure he has to go out and around him. And by then, Mike Pringle has gone by.
So Calvillo with some help on the ground from Pringle. Now he'll go to the air. Back to pass. Deep downfield. Caught Climate. No good as Chris Schelling got back to knock it down. First pass attempted to Climate in this game.
Rob Hitchcock got over there to help out Schelling as well. Rob Hitchcock went from the middle of the field. He was free to play the football, and in fact, he gets the right hand up there and knocks that ball out of the air. Good range from the free safety, the Eastern All-Star this year, Rob Hitchcock. Just reads the football and the throwing motion from Anthony Calvillo and is right there to knock it down and help out his halfback.
So Hitchcock puts the Alouettes in a 2nd and 10 situation. Calvillo time. Flush now, in trouble, and it looks like he's grabbed by McCready.
Calvillo got locked in there. It looked like he wanted to go to Ben Cahoon, but Chino Prater was all over Cahoon. And when you get locked in as a quarterback, you got to hope that the one guy you're focused in on gets open. You're going to see him turn his head. So he's looking right there for one guy. I believe it was Ben Cahoon, and McCready got to him.
And so the blitz overpowers the Montreal offensive line. Derek McCready, the 11-year veteran, puts the lock on Calvillo and puts Terry Baker back at his own 22 to punt. A shank from Baker. Akins has it at the 45 and not much more, but good field position for the Tiger Cats as they go on offense.
Right now, get a 28-point winter checkup, oil, lube, and filter, tire rotation, and a bonus emergency road kit, all for just $29.95. Only at Canadian Tire.
Charlie Taff anxiously awaiting word, I would think, on Tracy Ham and his condition. We know it's a back injury. And now you can hear in the loudspeakers they're pumping crowd noise.
Called home field advantage.
Yes, pumping out the crowd noise on these huge speakers as the Cats come to the line of scrimmage. McManus back to pass, across the middle, and traffic. Wow! Archie Amerson was drilled by Lester Smith.
Safeties want to make a statement here this afternoon. Rob Hitchcock with the knockdown when Hamilton was on defense, and Lester Smith, well, I can better that. Archie Amerson's coming across the middle. You better look out for 36, because there he is. Oh, boy. So you want to be a receiver? That's what you have to deal with sometimes.
Now more crowd noise from the loudspeakers as Amerson is furious with himself, but that was a suicide route. Akins, the rookie, has come in for Amerson, who was shaken up on the play. McManus rushed over the middle. It's complete to Darren Flutie. And it looked like it went off another receiver's hands or just over top before it got to Flutie.
It did. I believe it was Tony Akins. He was coming across the middle. I think the pass was originally going to him. McManus wanted to throw it over the middle to Tony Akins. He gets hit as he delivers it from Tracy Gravely. There's the underneath receiver. Akins goes up, goes through his hands right into Darren Flutie's hands. But this is how good the Montreal defense have been. Even though they got a little bit lucky, I'm talking about Hamilton, I think they're still going to be short.
Very close to measurement.
Well, they will get it.
By about half the length of the football. Darren Flutie with that catch is now the 4th all-time leading receiver in playoff action. Right behind Alan Pitts, Herm, Hans Harrison, and Rollie Miles up top. Moving past the great Terry Evanson.
There's a chance
into 4th place.
Chance that Alan Pitts may add to that total.
Yes.
Following our game.
Stampeders and BC Lions in the Western Final immediately following this game. McManus steps up into the pocket, throws an arrow to Amerson. He's got it. Amerson and Irv Smith both seem to make the catch at the same time, but the young, small Amerson came up with it.
Well, what the Montreal defense did is they rolled the coverage away. You saw Baron Miles flash in front of the screen. Lester Smith is usually the guy who's playing in the middle, and we saw a couple plays earlier how he came up and really hit Amerson. That time Smith had rolled away from the coverage, and it was Baron Miles in the middle. Baron Miles is not used to playing in there.
So after the interception on the first series, McManus is driving the Tiger Cats. Handoff to Ronald Williams into all kinds of traffic on the Montreal defense. Stephen Reed and Ed Fillion were there to make the tackle.
Even though Ron Williams didn't get a whole lot of yardage, it's important to keep him involved in the offense, even if he's getting 1 or 2 on first down. And
look, he's back.
Yeah. They worked it out, put a little heat on him. He probably did some stretching, and he's back, and the crowd responds, and so are his teammates.
The Ham limbers up on the sidelines as McManus continues to go to work for the Tiger Cats. McManus deep into the end zone for Corey Grant. There's a battle for it. A flag on the play. It's incomplete.
Well, it was going both ways. It really was. Dwight Henry was pulling, and Corey Grant was pushing, and vice versa. I think
Forward pass interference. Montreal 24. First down on the 1.
Well, a killer penalty against Dwight Henry as he is draped all over Corey Grant.
Yeah, and it's a good call because Dwight Henry just runs over Corey Grant. Like they were both pushing and pulling just prior to that point, but when Dwight Henry just kept running, even though the ball was right there, he ran right over Grant, and that's definitely pass interference.
Ham is warming up on the sidelines, but not much arm speed. First down, Tiger Cats. The interference penalty puts the ball at the 1-yard line of the Alouettes. Hand off, Ronald Williams. Touchdown, Tiger Cats. The Cats take the crowd out of the game and move back into contention. A small handful of fans in the end zone here cheering on the 1-yard run by Williams.
Well, I think what Hamilton has done well in this game so far is that they've fought through adversity. They've killed themselves with some penalties. They've had some drop passes. They've taken themselves out of field goal range and lost points because of penalties and bad mistakes. But they bounced back, and I think they're going to go for 2.
Indeed, the Tiger Cats lining up for a 2-point conversion. Ball on the 5, down 18-16. This will tie it. McManus looking into the end zone. It's complete to Archie Amerson for a 2-point convert. And the Eastern final is all tied at 18 with 5:08 to go. Archie Amerson fighting back, and the Cats tie it. Dave Hack going one-on-one with Alfred Payton on that 2-point convert, perhaps helping to keep that play alive.
Well, he got away with one. Dave Hack on the one-on-one on Payton. He's at the top of your screen. Dave Hack, oh my goodness, with a huge hold right there. No question about it. And at the other end of the play, Archie Amerson also got away with one. If you look right at the top of your screen, a big push-off right there on Dwight Henry. Pushed him off, turned out, and caught the 2-point convert. So 2 penalties that weren't called.
Meanwhile, back on the Alouette sideline, Tracy Ham continues to warm up, but gingerly. Not a lot of snap in the passing arm, although he looks determined to get back into this game. 18-18 as Osbaldiston kicks it off for the Tiger Cats. Thomas Haskins at his own 30, but it's out of bounds, it looks, as he made the catch.
That's a mistake by Thomas Haskins, because that ball was going straight out of bounds. And if he lets it go out of bounds, they get it on the 45-yard line on a kickoff. Thomas Haskins, that ball, look, he's right on the sideline. That ball's going straight out of bounds, and then his foot's out of bounds when he calls it. See that foot right there? He's out of bounds right there.
Jeff Cummins and Calvin Tiggle quick to make the call on the Ticat bench as Anthony Calvillo comes in. You know, his career has really worked in reverse. When you think he was only 21 years of age when he was thrown into the fray as the starting quarterback with the Las Vegas Posse. Then at 24, run out of town in Hamilton after a couple of tough seasons. Here he is at 27, finally getting a chance to work behind a guy like Ham, and he's had his best season. Out of the backfield to Michael Souls. Way in front of him, and Souls dives to make the catch back at the line of scrimmage.
You know, I got to go back just 1 minute just to that Thomas Haskins on the kickoff, because 15 yards of real estate can be the difference in a game this close. And Thomas Haskins should have let that ball go out of bounds. If he lets this ball go out of bounds, the Alouettes take over on the 45-yard line. Now they're on the 30 and 2nd and 10. Big difference.
2nd and long for the Alouettes. Calvillo, back to pass, has lots of time. Dumps it off to Pringle. Pringle is swarmed immediately at about the 35 for a gain of about 5 yards. Calvillo has looked tentative in passing so far. 3 of 6 completions now.
Yeah, he looks nervous. I mean, even the short passes, he's not putting them on the money. He's making the running back turn and reach down low for him. Watch out, Pringle. See how he has to go way down and get the football? That just takes an extra second away from him being able to turn around and make a move on the next tackler.
So perhaps Calvillo is a bit nervous coming in such a tension-filled playoff game, the biggest game he's ever been involved in his career. Punting situation. Baker gets it away. A spiraling punt deep. to the 30. Tony Akins for the Tiger Cats. Drilled by Tracy Bradley. And Ed Thomas, a 45-yard punt and a 7-yard return in a game that has featured some pretty big hits.
Best part about playoff football? That's what you love about the playoffs. Turn the intensity dial up a little bit.
Lester Smith has pinned his ears back on a few occasions this afternoon. 3.5 minutes to go in the third quarter. First down, Tiger Cats at their own 37. McManus with a blitz. Tries to release it to Corey Grant, but it's behind him. Close coverage on the play from Dwight Henry.
Danny McManus right now is trying to get one-on-one matchups on the backside. Sometimes you put Archie Amerson over there and go on Davis Sanchez, and sometimes he'll put Corey Grant back there and go one-on-one on Dwight Henry. What he's seeing when he breaks the formation, when he puts all the receivers to one side of the field, he can tell what Montreal are going to play. And if they play man and leave the guy back by himself on the backside, as you can see Dwight Henry one-on-one on the backside right now, you go back there and he's going right after it again.
McManus intended, Emerson got his hands on it on the break but couldn't bring it in. Incomplete.
So here's what he sees in the matchup. He's got Davis Sanchez over there on Amerson. He's got Dwight Henry on Corey Grant, and that way he can get a man-to-man matchup. Now he wants to go to Amerson on this play because he's got the outcut. Try and get the first down. Corey Grant was just trying to clear out the particular play call. But it's a matchup that he sees by formation when he lines up over the ball. So he knows where he wants to throw it before he even takes the snap.
Paul Osbaldiston will punt. 40-yard average today, but a lot of those punts have been angled out of bounds. Alouettes setting up the return. Osbaldiston with a line drive out of bounds again. And Winston October is furious. He couldn't get his hands on it. It's all tied at 18 in the Eastern Final. Alouettes first down. Calvillo hands off to Mike Pringle, and he's got a posse of blockers to center field.
That was interesting. After that, Paul Osbaldiston punt went out of bounds.
Yeah. Winston October runs directly at Osbaldiston and has a few words with him.
But you know what he said? He went over there and he said, "Don't be scared. Kick the ball right to me." It was a bad kick by Paul Osbaldiston, but he's trying to keep it out of his hands. Here's what happened. October goes and says, "Don't be scared. Come on, Ozzy, just kick it to me.
Give me something to return." 2nd and 4, Alouettes. Calvillo to pass. Intended for Climbey. It was late and nearly picked off by Gerald Vaughn.
See, Calvillo's, the mistake he's making is he's getting locked in right now, and he's looking at his intended receiver all the way, and this secondary in Hamilton is too good for that. You cannot look right at your receiver from start to finish and expect to get the ball there. Gerald Vaughn almost made him pay for this. See how he's looking all the way right to Jock Climbey? Well, that doesn't hold to Gerald Vaughn at all. He can just break on the football.
The Tiger Cats secondary saying yesterday that Ham is the best at looking off the safety and that Calvillo has a tendency to lock onto his intended receiver. So it's a third down punt situation, 3rd and 4. Baker back across his own 40. A bit of a shank from Baker on the run and a dangerous catch for the Tiger Cats by the rookie Tony Akins. And at BC Place, you're looking live at the pregame warm-ups for the Western Final. Damon Allen, the nominee out of the Lions for most outstanding player, getting set to duel with Dave Dickinson, who led the Stampeders to victory last weekend over the Edmonton Eskimos. It's the Western Final, game 2 of our doubleheader, coming right up after this one.
Very similar situation to this one, where the BC Lions dominated during the regular season but lost the last game, similar to Montreal and Hamilton.
Montreal winning 3 of 4 games this season. The Cats, though, winning the last one, 39-13 at home. Here's McManus handing off up the middle to Ronald Williams, and the Alouettes weren't fooled.
Okay, now you're going to see in 2nd and long what matchup that Danny McManus will want to go to. And the keys, again, will be Archie Amerson where he lines up and where does Darren Flutie line up.
Second and 9. 1 yard gain on the play for Ronald Williams. 2nd and 9, Tiger Cats, and you can hear they're pumping in that crowd noise again over the loudspeakers. They do it each time the Cats are in the huddle, perhaps giving McManus trouble calling his plays. 2nd and 9, McManus going deep for Darren Flutie. He's open, and he's got the ball. Darren Flutie with terrific concentration as Lester Smith and Mark Washington were bearing down on that late pass.
What a read by Danny McManus, because Davis Sanchez was coming off the edge. Instead of covering this time, Sanchez, see him at the top of your screen right there? He's coming on the blitz. McManus recognizes it, and you got to go down the middle when a team is blitzing you with the secondary. Flutie saw the same thing and is wide open. See McManus, he knows the blitz is coming. He sees it. He knows where to go when he gets blitzed. He's got to go to Darren Flutie as one-on-one guy. Sanchez doesn't get there in time.
Great concentration by Darren Flutie. McManus again going deep for Archie Amerson. Coverage and a flag. Sanchez was all over him.
Sometimes when you're a rookie defensive back, especially in a game this big, you lose your composure at the wrong time. And Sanchez a couple times now, when the ball's in the air, the crucial time, just gets too aggressive.
Montreal number 2. First down.
Oh, another huge pass interference call against the Alouettes. Sanchez flagged, and it's a first down for the Tiger Cats.
Well, you see, right now he's fine. All he has to do is look back, keep his composure, and play the football with it. Instead, he takes 2 more steps into Archie Amerson, and when he does that, he draws the flag. Just losing your composure at the wrong time, right at the end of the play.
First down, Tiger Cats, Glenn, at the Montreal 13-yard line. Handoff, Ronald Williams is hit immediately at the line of scrimmage for a short gain of perhaps 3. And that's the last play of the 3rd quarter. 15 minutes to go in the Eastern Final, and they're all tied at 18. Ninth straight sellout in Montreal. It's the hottest ticket in town, and when you can't get a ticket, you take out the couch at the top of your apartment, and you've got a box seat.
It's overflow crowd. And that's where you sit. But there's no railing there, so they got to be careful. Hey, sit down. Sit down. Don't get up. There's no railing.
And the overflow crowd also gets a seat on the roof of the gym here at McGill University.
They're turning people away. It really is the team in Montreal right now.
And a look at the 3rd quarter stats. Turnovers have been critical. 2 for the Tiger Cats. 2 interceptions.
Time of possession equal, score equal. We're down to the 4th quarter. This is what we wanted.
And they're pumping more crowd sound on the loudspeakers. The Cats threatening here deep. 2nd and 7 on the Montreal 10-yard line. McManus alone in the shotgun. 6 receiver set into the end zone, way over the head of Darren Flutie.
Darren Flutie couldn't decide whether or not to go under the goalpost or behind it. Danny McManus thought he would go behind it, and he cut under. And that's why that ball was overthrown. It was like the 13th player for the Montreal defense, and it was the upright. See, McManus thought he would bubble behind the goalpost and go deeper. Flutie went underneath it. That ball falls incomplete. Almost interception by Lester Smith.
So Paul Osbaldiston will set up for this field goal attempt from the 17-yard line. A chip shot for him to break the tie. It's up, and it's good. Osbaldiston puts the Tiger Cats in the lead, 21-18 here early in the 4th. All right, Glenn, so 2 pass interference penalties lead to 10 points for the Tiger Cats. Tracy Ham is coming back into the game. He left after being sacked by Tim Terry, was diagnosed with some sort of a back injury, and the crowd erupts with the announcement as Calvillo is back on the bench.
Well, Well, this should inspire the Montreal Alouettes that Tracy Ham shook off that back injury, is back in the lineup. And you know what? He didn't want to come back in the third quarter because he didn't want to damage Anthony Calvillo's confidence. They may need him again.
Ham's chin strap didn't get buttoned up. He'll hand it off to Pringle. Pringle rumbling now up the middle. Lamar McGriggs makes the tackle for the Tiger Cats on a big game. It'll be second and about 2. McGriggs finally hauling Pringle down, but he had some steam. Perhaps buoyed by the return of Tracy Ham at quarterback.
Oh, yeah.
1 quarter of football and a 3-point lead by Hamilton. Hand off. Pringle outside. Big hole. Blocked by Tyree Davis. And a huge first down for the Alouettes as Pringle is driven through the Gatorade side.
Well, Alfonso Browning has really bounced back. Pringle got the first down, but Alfonso Browning made the key block. He has a touchdown catch after a real shaky start. It'll be right to the left of your screen. You'll see 17. He really collapsed the inside of the line for the Hamilton Tiger Cats.
And he's hurt. He was down. The training staff came out. He got back up. Pringle now over 106 yards on 18 carries in this game, but Browning will have to leave the game.
Well, he went way down inside. That's linebacker territory. He took out, I believe it was Joe Higgins. That was the reason that Pringle got outside.
First down, Alouettes across the center field stripe. Ham to pass. Time. Seemed to lose control of that. It almost stuck to his hand as he tried to dump it off to Mike Pringle.
I think he changed his mind. I think he went to throw the football and he changed his mind. He decided he didn't want to throw it, tried to regroup, pull it back and reload. See, he saw Mike Souls, but he was pretty well covered, so he went to stop his throwing motion. The ball just popped out of his hands.
Incomplete. 2nd and 10. Alouettes. Bull Duke is in the game for Browning. 6 receivers, 5 receivers. Pringle leaks out of the backfield. Ham down the middle for Climby, and he can't hold on to it. Close coverage from Henry on the play.
Well, if there was any question as to how hard Tracy Ham could throw the ball after his back injury, it should be answered because he really put some zip on that ball. Climby was coming across the middle, and if he doesn't leave his feet, I think he has a better chance of catching it. He left his feet a little early and was on his way down when the ball arrived. But that ball was on a line, and it had some zip to it.
And on the money.
He has been all game when he's been playing.
Here we go. Nice job on that play.
Terry Baker will punt as Ham goes to the sidelines, showing his fitness. Baker gets another good punt. Driving Aikens back to his 7-yard line. Aikens gets a couple of blocks, and then he's rocked. And another flag on the play. A 44-yard punt and an 8-yard return in a close Eastern final. It took a while for Danny McManus to get Darren Flutie into the game, but he's cooking now with 4 catches, 101 yards.
Crucial situations, Danny McManus always has looked to number 82. They're always on the same page, especially when Montreal elected to go with the blitz. And that was the play. Montreal gambled on a blitz, and Darren Flutie made him pay. Look for him again in this series. How bad do they want this game?
Look at Pringle.
Look in his eyes. That'll answer that question for you.
Intensity written all over his face. The Alouettes have got the Tiger Cats deep in their own zone. First down on their own 7. Handoff, Ronald Williams. He's got some speed. Brought down across the 10.
It's a big series for the Montreal defense because they have the opportunity with the field position advantage to keep Hamilton bottled up down here. If they let him out of this one, they're in trouble down by 3. Even if Hamilton doesn't score, they still want to keep them bottled up. Give their offense the ball in good field position.
The gain was 5 by Ronald Williams. It's 2nd and 5. Ball on the Tiger Cat 13. McManus, quick pass to Amerson. He's got it. But he'll be short of the first down.
And it'll be a couple yards. It looks like at least 1.5 yards, 2 yards. Again, Montreal going with the blitz with Davis Sanchez. This time he went inside. So Danny McManus had to get rid of the football. He had no choice but to dump it off. And the swarming defense cut off Amerson, and they do their job. They keep him bottled up, force Hamilton to punt. Tracy Ham will get the football in good field position.
So Osbaldiston will punt from the shadow of his own goalpost. Ham gets set to come back on offense, and the Owls should have good field position. Winston October is standing just across center field. He's the lone man back for the Alouettes. Remember, he had words with Ozzie, challenging him perhaps to kick one to him. But Osbaldiston has been angling his punts out of bounds to prevent a return. Here we go from the 5. Osbaldiston creams this one really deep, back to the 40. October has it, up the hash marks, and a big return! Ozzie's the only man back! Winston October is gone! Here comes Joe Higgins for one last chance! Touchdown, Alouettes! What a return! Take a bow. A 53-yard booming punt from Osbaldiston. What a 70-yard touchdown return from Mr. October.
When you play at this level, you got to be able to walk in like you're talking. Winston October went in and said in the last punt to Paul Osbaldiston, kick me the football. Don't be scared.
Point after from Terry Baker is good, and the Alouettes are back in front. Montreal 25, Hamilton 21 with 10:41 to play. They're still celebrating in Molson Stadium on a dramatic 70-yard punt return by Winston October.
Winston October hit the gap, and then it was just straight acceleration to the outside. He said, kick it to me to Paul Osbaldiston, and don't be afraid. Well, if you're Paul Osbaldiston, be afraid. Be very afraid, because Winston October is on his way to the end zone in what just may be the key play of this football game.
Well, he issued the challenge. Osbaldiston responded with a 53-yard punt, and then he ran it back for a touchdown. Here's Archie Amerson with the kickoff return at his 20 to the 30, and then Amerson is brought down immediately just shy of the 34-yard line.
We talked about it earlier, though. Paul Osbaldiston was kicking the ball low. He was trying to drive the football out of bounds, and although that punt to Winston October was a deep one, it was low, and the cover team didn't have a chance to get down there and get set up. You see, he was untouched all the way to the end zone, and then when you're one-on-one with the punter, you're going to win that battle, and I love the way he finishes it. Yeah, baby!
Soaring through the air and on the bench, the Montreal bench, Stephen Reed erupts. What a big play. Reed again.
Touchdown by Stephen Reed. Again, Mama. Make you proud again, Mama.
Yeah, well, Winston, that's the fifth longest punt return in CFL history for a touchdown in playoff competition. Up behind the Rocket, the ordinary superstar, the Superfly, and the Gizmo.
Well, now we got to come up with one for October.
Yeah. And Reggie Jackson already has Mr. October, so here's McManus, second and long, looking for Corey Grant. There's Henry, close coverage, and it's incomplete.
They've been working Dwight Henry all game long. He comes up with a big play there. This time at the point of attack, I talked about losing composure when the ball was just about to arrive. Well, this time he's patient enough to wait till the ball gets there and then reaches around. Gets his hand on it, and that's a knockdown.
Just under 10 minutes to play, and you can feel a swell of momentum for the Alouettes in this stadium. What will Ozzie do this time? As he licks his hands and prepares to punt, standing at his own 20. Osbaldiston will angle this one towards the sideline. October will see it fly out Crowd with some boos for Paul Osbaldiston, but he'll play this one safer than sorry.
October was over there to Montreal saying, you go tell the kicker to kick it to me. And Paul Osbaldiston learned his lesson. He is not going to kick it to Winston October again in this game if he can help it. Now that's easier to said than done sometimes. It's hard to angle it out and still get some length on your kick.
Well, that was a 49-yard punt out of bounds. That's a beauty. Tracy Ham with great numbers passing for the Alouettes. Left the game with a back injury early in the second half, and he's back in the lineup. Ham rolling, pressure, escapes the pressure, buys himself time. He'll run. Here's Ham. Puts his head down across the 35. Just shy of the first down.
The difference in this teams in the past in Montreal, is how close they are, and it all starts at the quarterback position. I talk about a guy playing with a lot of courage and leading his team the way he's supposed to is Tracy Ham. The bad back takes off and runs and doesn't hook slide. Tries to get an extra yard knowing he's going to take another hit.
2nd and 2. Montford with his eyes in the backfield. It's the handoff to Pringle. McGriggs gets him, but it's going to be very close. Pringle diving over the line of scrimmage and very close to the first down marker.
This is how Montreal have won so many games throughout the season. When they get a bit of a lead, then they'll start to pound Pringle at you.
Out come the chains for the measurement. Ball spotted at about the 38-yard line.
But you know what? Right now, the Montreal offense cannot get too conservative. Yes, they're going to pound Pringle, but when you have Danny McManus on the other sideline, no score is insurmountable. And right now, with just a 4-point lead, yes, Pringle has over 100 yards. They're pretty good when he gets 100 yards.
Sure are.
But when you have Danny McManus on the other sideline, it's never over. There's never enough points on the board.
First down, Alouettes. Handoff, Pringle. Calvin Tiggle hits him and knocks him down. But Pringle is running with tremendous authority late in the game. And time is ticking off the clock.
Well, that's the battle right now for the Hamilton Tiger Cats. Not only are they playing against Montreal, but they're playing against the time clock.
The gain is 4 on the play. 2nd and 6. Ham. The Alouettes wearing their 3rd jersey, the replica of the '74 championship team. They're 2-0 when they wear these shirts. Ham with time across the middle. It's complete to Ben Cahoon, or rather, Jock Climby. Climby's first catch of the ball game. 16 yards and a first down.
Well, Tracy Ham, you know, I can't say enough of how prepared he is for this football game. He has been on the money from start to finish. He's run when he's had to. When he left the game, the Hamilton offense struggled. He's back in the game. He's got him moving again.
First down, Alouettes. Pringle tripped off at the line of scrimmage as he tried to get outside.
Danny McManus cannot wait to get the football back. You can't tell, but that's the way Danny McManus
He's looking
looks.
His hands on the sidelines is how anxious he is.
Yeah, that's the way he looks from start to finish. Doesn't matter what the score is. Right now, he is formulating in his mind the series of plays that he will call to bring his team back in this game. He has been in that very same situation a bunch of times, and if you're a teammate, you just stay away from him.
Yeah, nobody talks to Danny McManus on the sidelines. 2nd and 11. Ham will run. Hit hard. Rob Hitchcock and Joe Montford, 2 of the biggest hitters in the Hamilton defense.
Well, good play by Joe Montford and Hitchcock to get up there and stop this. Now it's an interesting situation now for Charlie Taft. Terry Baker's longest field goal in the year is 51 yards. If he lines up right now, he's looking at, just doing the math quickly,
about 53. Yeah, about 53.
About 53 yards. but it's tougher to cover a missed field goal, so they're going to punt.
Baker standing at his own 49. Archie Amerson at his own 12. And a big punt from Baker over the head of Aikens and into the end zone for a single point. A huge punt. 59 yards for Baker. Terry Baker's 59-yard punt, good for a single, but that point really doesn't mean much.
No, it doesn't mean anything. The difference between 4 and 5 is irrelevant. Terry Baker tried to take too much on this one. He really hammered it. It went way into the end zone. If he takes a little bit off that, gets it out of bounds, it's a big difference in field position where Danny McManus will start with the football, and the single point didn't help Montreal at all.
And so instead of being trapped down deep, the Ticats start at their own 35. 5:28 to go in the game. Pitch pass. Corey Grant has it. Gets a block, gets outside, and is driven out of bounds with a first down. A 14-yard pass and run play to Corey Grant. Darren Flutie helps bring him.
Yeah, and I don't think it's time. It's not time for Danny McManus to get into the hurry-up just yet. You see the block right there from Darren Flutie. That gets Grant to the outside. He just keeps working on Mark Washington.
Well, this is sweaty palms time. 5 minutes to go in the game. McManus back to pass. Wide side to Andrew Brigg, and it just got there in time. He dropped it. He dropped it. They're calling it incomplete.
You know what? And I think he dropped it before the whistle went. But he recovered it right away. And then they're calling an incomplete pass.
Yeah, I thought he clutched it, had the catch, then fumbled.
Well, here's another look. Does he have control of the football? Looked like he had it there, and then it's pulled out. It looked like that was a catch and a fumble.
Could have been a fumble. And that's a long throw from the far hash mark. Joe Montfort watching anxiously from the Tiger Cat bench. 2nd and 10. McManus pumps once. He's going deep to Flutie. Double coverage. It's intercepted by Baron Miles. So Danny McManus is intercepted for the 3rd time in this game, the 2nd to the ball hawk, Baron Miles.
Well, he's been the leader all year. Baron Miles, Eastern All-Star, comes up with another key play. Danny McManus waited a long time, and by the time he threw the football, he was trying to go deep to Flutie. Flutie was way down the field. Now, McManus has a strong arm, but he just couldn't get enough on it to get it over Baron Miles, who had to outjump his teammate as well.
Well, on the bright side for the Tiger Cats, it's as good as a punt, driving the Alouettes to just across their own 20. And will stay on the ground. Pringle puts his head down, bounces off of Chris Schelling, filling from the secondary, and Danny Mack will have to sit on the bench and wait for another chance.
Well, he doesn't have to worry about it, Mark, because he's going to get the ball back probably not once, maybe even twice. There's 4 minutes left, depending on what his defense can do right now. He'll likely get the ball back a couple of times before this game's over.
We already saw what he did with 31 seconds to go in the first half. The big pass to Darren Flutie, and then the touchdown pass to Ronald Williams that was negated by the offside against Corey Grant. 2nd and 6, Ham across the middle, throws it away. The closest man was Alfonso Browning. So a punt situation for Terry Baker and the Alouettes. Lancaster beginning to feel the tension. 3:35 to go.
All year, starting at the beginning of the off season, you're lifting weights and you're running and you're training. Then you go through the whole season, you play hurt. It all comes down to this. This is why you're here. This is why those guys are playing this game. It comes down to 3 minutes to go and their season in the balance right now.
And now the old veteran quarterback himself talking with Danny McManus, going over the game plan. Here's the punt. The bounce at center field, picked up by Amerson, and it looks like no yards will be called against the Alouettes.
Right now, get a 28-point winter checkup, oil, lube, and filter, tire rotation, and a bonus emergency road kit. All for just $29.95. Only at Canadian Tire.
26-21, Montreal with 3:16 to go, and the Owls got a bad bounce.
No yards. Montreal number 9, first down.
Ed Thomas called for no yards as the ball bounced back, and on the Hamilton sideline, Cody Ledbetter and Ron Lancaster coming up with some offensive schemes.
Well, and Tracy Ham knows that he will likely get the ball back. Even if Danny McManus gets it in the end zone and gets the lead, he'll have time with the football to come back once more. So he's got to get his plan together while McManus does it on the field right now.
McManus back to pass. Over the middle, it's complete to Mike Morreale at the 40-yard line. Stephen Reed made the tackle. And at the 3-minute warning, the Tiger Cats are 3 shy of the first down. The waning moments of the Eastern Final, the fans exhorting the Montreal defense to hold here. And in the West, BC Lions head coach Greg Mons exhorting his team to get ready. The Western Final is coming up. The Lions and the Calgary Stampeders. It's 2nd and 2 at the 40 for the Tiger Cats. McManus will hand off to Ronald Williams. He battles, second effort. It'll be very close to a first down.
It will be close. He got a good spot up around the 38-yard line is where he had to get to.
What do you do? 3rd and short? Do you gamble? Do you go for the field goal?
Well, I think at this short, you gamble. You go ahead and get the first down. But I don't think Danny McManus has to go to the end zone in this series. He can kick a field goal, make it a 2-point game, and then hope his defense can hold, get the ball back one more time, and then it's just a field goal position is all you need. He doesn't have to go to the end zone, but I think you gamble here when you're this close.
Cats have brought in the Hogs, Mike Campbell, Bob Beveridge, Joe Higgins, Jarrett Smith, 3rd and less than a yard. And McManus will pass deep to Joe Higgins. He's got it! What a catch by Higgins! A big first down at the 11-yard line. What a gamble.
Oh, what a gamble by Ron Lancaster. With inches to go, they elect to throw the football, and Higgins was not open. And it was Baron Miles. 2 interceptions already, running down to catch up to Higgins. He's not open. What a catch he makes to jump over Baron Miles with the pressure on him. 3rd down.
Joe Higgins, who's played quarterback and running back and receiver in college, but linebacker today, and makes a big catch as a receiver. At the 11, McManus, flushed by Swift Birch, running for his life. Birch in pursuit. McManus is driven out of bounds by Tracy Gravely.
That's as fast as I've ever seen Danny McManus run. That is absolutely as fast as I have ever seen him go.
That was his first rush of the game.
I thought Swift Birch would catch him in about 2 steps because Swift Birch is quick. But look at McManus. Get out there. It's on the line now.
Driven out of bounds at the 7, so the gain is about 4.
That will surprise him when he sees it again.
2nd and 6. The Cats can get a first down without getting into the end zone. There's Joe Higgins with that miraculous catch for the Tiger Cats. McManus back to pass. Across the middle, it's complete to the 1-yard line. Archie Amerson holding on in traffic.
Well, it may be enough for the first down. He didn't get in, but if he has the first down, Hamilton have basically 3 cracks at it from 1 yard away. And really, this is a situation where obviously you don't want to give up the touchdown, but Tracy Ham has got to be thinking, with Hamilton on the 1-yard line, if they're going to score, make it early. Make it on the first down. So he can get the ball back with lots of time left.
Archie, come here.
1st and goal. Tiger Cats. The ball on the Montreal 1-yard line. 3-man backfield. McManus, hands off, right side, touchdown. Ronald Williams puts the Tiger Cats in the lead.
Now, Ron Lancaster will go for 2. It's 27-26 right now, 1-point game. A single point right now doesn't help. If they get the 2, a field goal by Montreal ties the football game. So he will go for 2 in this instance right here.
27-26. Tiger Cats. They've already got 1 2-point conversion in this game to tie it at 18 earlier. McManus at quarterback. Lancaster exhaling on the Hamilton sideline. 3rd touchdown of the game for Ronald Williams. Here's McManus to pass into the end zone. No good. Looking for Mike Morielli.
That's big. Tracy Ham now has the game in his hands. 1:37 left. He only needs field goal range to win the ball game. Had McManus completed that pass for the 2-point convert, field goal range would have tied it.
So McManus helping to drive the Tiger Cats into the lead, but it's a precarious lead at best. 1 point with 1:37 to go as Williams rambles into the end zone with his 3rd touchdown of the game.
They all look the same, too. Right down on the doorstep, Ron Williams pretty much walked in on all 3. He's running right off tackle. If you're a Montreal fan, the good news is for your team, there's still plenty of time for Tracy Ham to move this team into field goal position.
Terry Baker has completed 77% of his field goals, longest 55.
The game is in Tracy Ham's hands right now, and you know what? That's the way he wants it.
Here's the kickoff at the 19. It's Haskins. Hit hard. Kyle Walters, the first to make contact on special teams, but a 13-yard return for Thomas Haskins.
The difference between great football players and the best ever and Hall of Famers is when the game is on the line, the Hall of Famers want the football in their hands. Ron Williams had his turn. Tracy Ham now has his turn. And that future Hall of Famer would not have written it up any differently. With the game on the line, give me a chance to win it.
Ham looking confident. Back to pass. Has time, pumps once, flushed, and then is mobbed. Right at the line of scrimmage. Little or no gain. Playing with an injured back.
Just think back to last year, the last second field goal by Paul Osbaldiston was the only thing the Montreal Alouettes have thought about since that happened. For a whole year, they can't even watch right now.
Swift Birch has subbed out with a towel over his head. 2nd and 11. Flags on the play, and it's blown down.
Zumo KK moved early.
Oh, this will be costly, and Mike Campbell is celebrating. It is a procedure call against the Alouettes. And the yardsticks move back to the 27-yard line.
Illegal procedure, Montreal 53.
You can feel the tension in this stadium right now.
And the hush has fallen over the crowd at Molson Stadium. You can see the tension in the Montreal huddle. 2nd down and 16 yards to go. Ham. Time going deep down the far sideline for Tyree Davis. He can't reach it. Tracy Ham aired it out.
Well, it was amazing that Tyree Davis even got open. Tracy Ham threw that one almost as far as he could. The Hamilton Tiger Cats elected to go with just a 3-man rush. Tyree Davis going deep down the sideline. Ham just threw it as far as he could. When the ball was in the air, Tyree Davis did get a little bit of distance. He just couldn't catch up to it by inches. It went just through his hands. And they're going to have to gamble on 3rd down.
Jason Richards couldn't believe it. 3rd down gamble. Ham back to pass. Is flushed. He'll throw. It's complete to Ben Cahoon for a 1st down.
Oh, my. Wow. That's composure from your quarterback. Tracy Ham knew there was a three-man rush. He had time. All he had to do was wait for someone to open up. That's why he moved the pocket, moved out of the pocket, stepped up. He knows he has time. Finds Ben Cahoon, and it's a tough throw against your body. Cahoon comes up with a catch.
He needs another 15 yards, though, to get Baker into field goal position. Ham with all kinds of steamboats. Rolls out. Man open. It's complete to John Climby for another first down. No, they're saying it touched the ground. It will be ruled incomplete. Climby thought he had it.
Well, Ham had a ton of time back there, but no one was open down the field. Hamilton, the secondary, did a nice job in coverage. Did this touch the ground? Tough to tell from that angle. You can see he didn't have control. It was in his knees. Whoa, hard to tell.
But it's ruled incomplete, so it's 2nd and 10, Montreal. They've got to get across the 50 of the Tiger Cats to be in range. It's too high for Mike Pringle. He was open. Oh, my goodness.
That was the first bad pass from Tracy Ham all game.
And so now Ham has to dig down another 3rd down gamble. 10 yards to go.
Here's the game.
39.8 seconds left on the clock.
This is the game.
Third and 10. Ham in the shotgun. Pressure down the middle. It's no good and nearly intercepted. Chris Schelling was the closest player to it, and Taft has just seen the season perhaps lie in ruins. 34.2 seconds to go in the game.
Joe Higgins on 3rd and inches catches the ball for the Hamilton Tiger Cats over top of Baron Miles.
And so the fans begin to file out of Molson Stadium with 34.2 seconds to play, and the Tiger Cats will run out the clock, leading by 1, 27-26.
The Montreal Alouettes must be wondering what they have to do to get to the next level. For the 4th year in a row.
And as we speak, some of the Alouettes have left the stadium. Pringle is gone. Hensey Charles is gone. Thomas Haskins leaving. In total disappointment. 4 straight Eastern Finals and 4 straight defeats.
Full credit to the Hamilton Tiger Cats. They're going back to the show. And Danny McManus throws 3 interceptions in the game. Didn't have his best outing. They had penalties. They had key mistakes at key times. But they hung in there. And that's the sign of a championship team. Keep it close. Stick around. And you got Danny McManus on your sideline. You always have a chance to win the football game. And he got it done. And these guys can't believe it.
Well, we saw Danny McManus, after throwing that 3rd interception, sitting on the bench, waiting for his chance. And what a risky, gutsy call, as you mentioned, on 3rd and inches to throw the ball to a linebacker, Joe Higgins.
Well, when Joe Higgins made that catch over top of Baron Miles, it really was the game. If he drops that one, it's over. But this is a championship team, and you always have surprising heroes. There's always a guy that comes up with a big play, because when you're going this far in the playoffs and you go to the Grey Cup game, you have to get big plays from everybody. You're only as good as the weakest player on your team.
Well, the Tiger Cats have called a timeout. Ham still with his helmet on, probably reeling right now. And might this be his last game? He has been cagey about that. He did say it would all depend on whether or not he won the Grey Cup.
I honestly felt, Mark, if he went to the Grey Cup and won it, it would have been his last year. I don't know now. He is such a great competitor. I know he won't want to end his career like this.
Michael Souls saying this would be his final year. Osbaldiston to punt, standing at his own 46-yard line with 11.6 seconds left. He'll angle this one out of bounds. Taking up time, though. October with the ball. Get out of bounds he does. Driven out of bounds by Jarrett Smith at the 22.
And now Tracy Ham will put all the receivers on one side of the field and try and throw it up there.
Ron Lancaster excited. The ball has been kicked off in the Western Final. The Stampeders and the BC Lions will join that game immediately following this Eastern Final.
What a great job Ron Lancaster has done. This is a team that hasn't been right on track all season. This is a team that struggled out of the gate. They've had their problems through the year with injuries. They've hung around. Won a tough game last week against the Toronto Argonauts. One they didn't look very good at all. Didn't play very well this afternoon, but did enough to keep it close and then finish.
Crowd standing here, the sellout crowd saluting the Alouettes. Ham with one last gasp. Last play of the game. It's a Hail Mary deep down the far sideline. And it's no good. The Tiger Cats win the Eastern Final for the second year in a row by just 1 point. Danny McManus with nerves of steel. The Cats beat the Alouettes 27-26. The Alouettes, Charlie Taft, go away the losers again for the 4th time in the Eastern Final in 4 straight years. The Cats going back, hoping to avenge their loss in the Grey Cup 1 year ago against the Calgary Stampeders.
Well done. Charlie Taft must wonder, as well as the Montreal Alouettes, just what they have to do to get to the next level. But for now, it'll be the Hamilton Tiger Cats one more time in the show.
Tracy Ham and Ron Lancaster, the two leaders in career passing, exchange pleasantries. The Cats are going to the Grey Cup, and now we're going to Vancouver for the Western Final.